Brady's old like that. He's eating no oranges. He can't even see orange.
Why he uses orange?
Brady can't even see orange.
That's true. I mean, I can, but it's probably not as vibrant as you
What
guys.
color does orange look like to you?
Looks like an orange.
I guess you don't know. That's like asking, you only know what you know, huh?
Yeah, someday I'm gonna see colors.
How old were you when you figured out you were colorblind?
I don't know when those.
Do you have like a pivotal moment in life where someone was like, "Hey, will you grab me that orange marker?"
No, it was
And you
more
were
like
what?
those little color wheel things you had to do, like tests when you were a kid, like trying to find the color, trying to find the letter inside all the colors.
Yeah,
That's when. I don't remember.
it wasn't like dramatic for you.
No,
Traumatic.
because I've always been like that my whole life. So it's not like I at one point where I could see colors, and all of a sudden I couldn't see colors.
You didn't really have a moment where you were like, "Man, I'm different." Like that guy, we don't see the same thing.
Did you ever get
You just call me different.
You
I don't know
are.
if that's a
You
lie.
are different.
Oh,
You're different. You're colorblind. It's different.
Okay.
What percentage of people are colorblind? You want to Google that for me real quick?
I'll Google it. Yeah. What?
Google that.
Omar, are
Jamie.
you colorblind?
No, I'm normal. I'm
Normal.
normal. Not different.
Ooh, I'm
20%.
according to AI overview on Google, approximately 8% of men and 0.5% of women are colorblind.
Women aren't colorblind that much.
Okay.
This means about 1 in 12 men and 1 in 200 women are affected by this condition.
Why do you think women would be less likely to be colorblind? Why would that be? It's probably
That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's figure that out. I'm too dumb to know.
Yeah. I always say that. That's why if I'm editing a photo and I post a photo online, if it looks really shitty, it's probably why.
That explains a lot. I'm joking.
You can fall back on it.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to hear about my night last night? I
Sure.
had the greatest night ever.
What set the stage for me?
So I go to bed at an appropriate
Set your
time
clock.
for a dad, and 12:30, my smoke alarm goes off,
Oof.
and it's cranking.
Is it alarm to go out and smoke?
Yeah,
Like,
that's what it is. It's time for a camel. So I get up and I roam around, try to turn my light on, and my light's like one of those dimmer lights with it's got the dial so you can like dim it. Yeah, it's
Oh.
romantic.
Yeah.
So I dial it all the way up and it doesn't come on. I'm like, what the heck? So I walk out in the living room and the clock on my stove is out. So I'm like, oh, power's out. That's weird, you know? So walk all around the house with my phone, my little flashlight, you know, like looking around, smell for smoke. Then
I got a tip I want to talk you about right now.
Okay.
Quick.
Yeah,
So
let's
you
hit
find your
it.
phone. I do this all the time in my house. Like my girlfriend's like, "Hey, where's your phone? I need to get a light."
Oh yeah.
oh, your watch.
The feature on the Garmin Enduro too.
You guys,
Omar and I have. We just have it built in.
Do you guys sleep with your watch on?
Yeah.
Gotta
You
get
both
that,
do?
Gotta get that data.
Does it bug you?
No,
Huh.
I sleep with both my Whoop and my Garmin. Okay, continue.
Anyway, so yeah,
that's what you need to
I
watch.
do a search of the house,
Okay.
upstairs, basement, the whole thing. Look all around, no smoke, can't smell any smoke. Everything seems good. So then I gotta find the alarm that's like going off, which
Yeah.
my house has like the peak ceilings, you know.
Uh-huh.
So it's like the one way up top. So I gotta figure out how to get up there and get that thing. So I just pull a battery.
Please tell me you just took like a BB gun and just like shot it.
Ladder. Get the battery out. So I'm too tired for this. It's like 12:30, right?
Yeah.
So pull the battery, get that taken care of. Go back to bed. I can't get back to sleep because obviously I just thought my house was on fire, right?
Yeah.
And then like 3 o'clock, power comes on, which illuminates my whole room because I just turned the damn
Oh.
thing on and it didn't come on. So my whole room just daylight. So I've been up pretty early.
So
What caused that?
Huh?
Just the power going
Power
out?
was out. I don't know, and I don't know what the deal with the smoke alarm was.
but speaking of all this, remember yesterday?
Joe was just
Yeah,
saying maybe my oldest kid was in the basement vape, which I don't think that was the case.
Because remember yesterday though, we were having a meeting about what we're kind of having a podcast about today.
Yeah.
And your Wi-Fi went out.
It did.
And
I
you
know,
got switched to your phone.
It's falling apart.
Yeah.
It's falling apart. My house is falling apart.
So it's time to just leave and go hunting. That's
Might
what
be
it
time
means.
to move to Vegas.
That's a good transition. Don't say that.
Sorry.
Get that out of your mouth.
What do you say?
He said time to move to Vegas.
Oh.
Yeah, right.
I'm just jealous of you. A lot of people think you live in Vegas, by the way.
They do?
Yeah, someone commented the other day about, like you said, you're at the headquarters or something like that, and someone thought headquarters for you meant you're always here.
Oh,
And it's like this is your home.
nope. I live in southern Utah. I'm in Vegas about 1 day a week.
Yep.
Yep. It's hot down here already.
It's cooking.
It's cooking. When I'm slung some arrows last time, it was like 70.
Up north.
Up at the range. Yeah. At GOHUNT North.
Go hunt north.
Yeah. We're gonna talk New Zealand today. That's why we have young Omar on the podcast.
Are we going? I thought we were hunting Mexico.
No, we're hunting New Zealand.
You know me, I'm not going to say
If
it.
you can't figure this out by the end of this podcast,
Well,
where we're
You technically might not, okay?
Because there's all
Because-
kinds of facts and figures we're gonna
Yeah,
run
well,
through.
You can hunt tar in New Mexico, so
That's true.
And
you know,
Texas.
I too have a personal friend. I have photos on my phone of someone who has killed one in New Mexico.
It's not listed as a game species, right? You must be able to just kill it on site if you see one.
I
Because
think you do need like a.
It's not in their regs.
But you can't kill chamois in New Mexico.
That's true. And there's chamois where we're going,
Really?
apparently.
Chamois.
Okay,
So
so I guess we're going somewhere.
we are going to New Zealand, everybody.
When do we leave?
We'll get into it. I want to talk. I want to find out how this whole thing came together because I felt like
There's a lot of different methods in how this came together, but there's one big one that we can.
I'm trying to
Okay.
remember because I felt like somebody was just like, "Hey, do you want to go?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want to go. That sounds amazing."
But because you were further on.
I was further down the chain.
further down the chain.
I got a late invite.
I mean, it slightly, I believe, happened. You and Lorenzo Omar were obviously you're hunting with Cam Henderson.
Mm-hmm.
He's from New Zealand, and I don't.
He's a hobbit.
Camera guy.
Easy, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Shout out Cam, basically a hobbit.
He does look like a little hobbit, by the way.
Does he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is he not very big?
No, he's just like shorter, and then he's got curly hair,
yeah.
giant feet. Like,
But like you guys, I think you guys were
Smokes
talking
a pipe.
about New Zealand on that hunt quite a bit.
yeah. I mean, he came in kind of like a salesman, like pitching New Zealand
Yeah.
and like all the cool things you could do, and you know,
Was it one of those things where he come over here and he's like, "This is kind of cool, but you guys should see New Zealand."
yeah,
He was kind of downplaying.
So but that was like 2 years ago.
almost 3. It'll be 3 in September.
3 in September, okay. And then last year we were on our annual bear hunt.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember if it was multiple times during it or towards the end. We were like, we got to do something else.
Yeah,
Like this place that I bear hunt and taking Omar is just infested with ticks, as most people saw in the film.
You guys were talking about it when
So
you
we were literally talking about: are we going to come back here next year? 1, so are we going to come back to the same spot? 2, are we going to find a new place to go bear hunting to get away from these ticks? Or 3, do you want to do something rad and do a wild, crazy adventure? And we were
Mhm.
like, go to New Zealand.
yeah,
So it kind of bred out of last year's bear hunt in a sense. But obviously there was filtered like little hints there. And then this last year again, Cam came back out and filmed my brother's elk hunt. So we talked about it in November of 2024 about like, you guys should come to New Zealand, come do some hunting stuff.
yeah, yeah. And then to add to that too, it's like trying to figure out like like a good time to go, like in terms of like us, right? So like a good time to go. Who would go? I don't think we knew kind of like even 6 months ago, like who would go.
Did you guys you didn't parse that out when you were hunting bears in the backcountry?
Well, obviously it was going to be Omar and I. Maybe we
Yeah.
could split up the.
Were you guys like
The
"God,
Brotherhood
we
of
don't
the Ticks."
take anybody else? Or were you like, "Oh, we gotta take Terrell because we want something to die, so we should take him."
No, I
Are you saying because you're old and
Yeah,
tall?
I might die.
Yeah.
Oh, we want some drama. Let's take that guy.
Yeah.
yeah. But then another like cool piece presented itself, which was like kind of like our private label stuff, which I'm sure we'll talk about more.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
then kind of it becomes like a no-brainer to test gear in a gnarly environment.
Yeah.
So I had thrown the idea over. So I like went to Lane essentially. I was like, hey, like, what do you think about New Zealand? And then that's kind of where it clicked in his head. It was like, if we like could do something in terms of like marketing, something like instead of just like, you know, sending us 3, as great as that would be, like, you know, it's kind of going to be this reason to go. So that's kind of where like the testing came to mind and like kind of fruition. And then I started putting it together like on Excel spreadsheets and looking at costs and all that stuff. Essentially, like, you know, going to pitch the hunt to Lane, and you know, gave that to him, and our finance director Scott approved it. So I booked
Mhm.
tickets as soon as we could, and It was the
as soon as you could, which meant you were still really delayed on everything.
It wasn't that delayed.
I remember when you
Well-
started talking about it, and I was like, "This ain't gonna happen. I don't think this is gonna happen."
We weren't, it wasn't even.
I was a little bit pessimistic. I was
Right.
glass half empty kind of guy. And when it came to that one, I was like, I don't know, man. That seems pretty far fetched. But the further down this rabbit hole that we've gotten, I think which I think hopefully that'll come out in the podcast, is like how much more doable this actually is than I thought it was.
I
Yeah.
want to pull up here
Yeah.
when we finalize this. You guys keep talking for a second.
We're just gonna wait for you, Brady. We want some awkward silence.
Because like the reason why I say it was kind of delayed and everything. So you finally texted me the photo of the flight February 19th.
Yeah, so it wasn't too long ago.
And see, this is why I'm saying like you can do this really quickly and put it together, but we obviously been talking about it for a while longer.
Yeah.
Because like I am still, because of this delay and everything, I'm still waiting on my rifle permit. And it might be a day by day decision if I'm going to be able to get my rifle across
Yes.
because of when we booked our flights. Because I needed to know exactly when we booked our flight to then go through the rifle permit process, which we can get into. But
What are you gonna do if you can't take your rifle? Slingshot?
Yeah, pick up.
Bow and arrow?
I mean, it's Barogando.
You taking the Matthews?
No,
You gonna send it?
Yeah.
no.
Swing a couple.
Cam has already has a rifle for me if need be.
Gotcha. So yeah, Cam, who's now turned into a good buddy, he's gonna help us out, and he's got a couple rifles down there that Brady could use.
Yeah. And he said it can hit a like
Shoot
3
the-
times the size of a pie plate at 100 meters. And I was like, yeah, that ain't gonna cut it, bud.
Shoot the eye of a gnat.
Yeah, he said he was joking that it's not sighted in at all, and because he knows how psycho.
That
I am
makes
about
it challenging. I hope it's a lever action Henry or something.
That wooden one that he has.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
All right, so that's how it came together. Do we want to hit promo first? Let's hit promo before we really dive in. I'm trying to be better about it.
Rip a promo trail.
Promo. Sign up for a GOHUNT Insider account, which is a research platform that you can sign up. It's a subscription, annual subscription. Has all your draw odds. You can filter for hunts. So you can find the type of hunt that you're looking for based on harvest success or amount of public land percentage or trophy potential. You can filter by draw odds. We have application strategy articles, which my head has been down at my desk writing application strategy articles. You can use those to help you understand how each individual state and application works. We'll give you a bunch of information there that you probably can't get otherwise. So dive into that and figure out like how you want to apply, where you want to apply. And if you use the promo code podcast when you sign up for a subscription, you're going to get $50 back in the Go Hunt Gear Shop that you can use towards the purchase of any gear that you want in the shop. So promo code podcast.
True, you always give like shout outs after I do a promo. And I'm like, dang, that's pretty
Okay.
good. I'm gonna give you a shout out right now.
That was pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Pretty dialed.
Pretty
We've
down.
gotten a lot better at those.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, I've got the pitch down.
And then we already mentioned private label, but
Yeah.
are these live now?
They will be soon.
So by the time this podcast goes out, maybe or sometime afterwards, but this in my hand, people watch on YouTube. This is the Go Hunt Approach Light.
People love the approach.
So this is just a lighter version of the Approach.
Yeah, Brady was asking earlier, like, what exactly is different about it? And I was like, well, you've had Coors Banquet, now you've had Coors Light. This is the light version of the approach.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna run 100 miles in this thing.
Are you really?
I think that one will be really good, especially the temps
Yeah.
running at night and stuff.
Yeah, because we have it in this cambium colorway and then the gray,
Yeah.
the cinder gray. So I'll probably use the cinder gray to run it. It's a little lighter color, so the sun isn't beating on me too much.
Is that going to be our team uniform? Do I have to wear one too?
You can wear one, yeah.
Okay, that's
I
cool.
might
That's good.
switch it out, but I think for the day part, I'll wear the approach light.
Yeah, you can pick that up in the gear shop and you can use your 50 points
Ooh.
that you get
Yeah.
towards the purchase of it. Still a lot of draws open. Still some coming. You've got Utah coming up on the 24th, which
Yep.
is just a few days from now. You've got Wyoming, which is what I've been working on. Wyoming deer and antelope coming up. Idaho controlled draw still coming up. Arizona sheep, deer still coming up.
You got Nevada, all species.
Nevada, all species. Can't forget Nevada.
Oregon.
Oregon, everybody's top of everybody's list.
I mean, it's entering my list. I'm gonna go to Oregon this September, I think.
I had a guy hit me up today actually. He's like, "Hey, I've been spending a bunch of time in my insider account. I've been doing a bunch of filtering, looking at units." He's like, "Is Oregon just like slept on? It's like, why are there more people hunting Oregon? He's like, I never hear a lot of talk about Oregon, and he lives in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't mind me saying this, but I said, yeah, absolutely. For a guy like you, makes sense.
Yeah, totally makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and there is a lot of opportunity there. It just
There
might
is.
not make sense for somebody from Wisconsin or, you know, the great state of Minnesota,
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to fly. I guess it's probably closer actually.
It actually might be- might be closer.
It's actually probably closer than a state like Colorado to
Yeah.
New Zealand. But yeah, there's still a lot of draws. Still a lot of time that you can put in the research and find an opportunity to get a tag and go hunting this year.
I just think it'd be cool to kill a Rosie.
Yeah, it would almost be as cool as killing a big Rocky.
Almost. But we're gonna do that in
Yeah,
later on that month.
That's true.
So
that's true. So with that, we established like how this hunt came up. I was on board instantly when you asked. I was like, yeah, I wanna go.
I visually remember that time where it was like, all right, so who wants to go to New Zealand? It was you two, just like,
Yeah, we'll go.
and then
When are you gonna get to go to New Zealand?
that. I mean, yeah.
I mean, I didn't actually ever think that I would go to New Zealand, and I hadn't really ever put enough time and effort to like research it. Since with this like came up, I have been,
Mhm.
and I'm like, why wasn't this on my radar?
Yeah.
This is so much more doable than I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. New Zealand's always been a bucket list place. Like, you look at the mountains. I mean, I've looked at them a lot more recently, but like, they're just the most incredible mountains around. I think everyone who's been there and gone back says it's the steepest, gnarliest country. You were talking earlier, like about goat hunting. Like, I've goat hunted in British Columbia, and people say that's steep. You know, I've hunted some other steep places, Tajikistan. Like, that was pretty gnarly in some areas, but like, everyone I've talked to said it's the steepest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't compare to anything, which I've always loved.
Yeah, I want to get started talking about New Zealand and where we're going. I want to talk about terrain and precip and like what we can expect and elevations and all that kind of stuff. I found something I thought was really interesting. To me, this like really kind of captured it for me. So like all the videos that I've watched, all the research I've done. So this is a paragraph from a paper I read. So it said the southwest of New Zealand, South Island, is one of the great wildernesses of the southern hemisphere. Its remote, unoccupied landscape, both forbidding and beautiful. It contains New Zealand's most outstanding wild landscapes. The fjords, the southern Alps, the great glaciers, the turbulent rivers descending to the vast temperate rainforests of the west coast, wide open spaces of the eastern tussock grasslands, and the glacial lakes and the rain shadow of the Alps.
I'm never coming back after you read that.
Doesn't that sound pretty incredible?
Sounds beautiful.
When I read that, I was like, oh yeah, that sounds nice.
How come it didn't mention anything about they filmed Lord of the Rings there?
No.
But so like you just described kind of like that passage from an article.
Mm-hmm.
What did you guys think in your mind prior to anything like researching New Zealand? Like how'd you guys like picture New Zealand in your head?
Well, a lot of videos you see guys hunting red stag, which I think probably most people when they think of like, oh, I want to go to New Zealand, probably the top of the heap is red stag.
Mhm.
I
It's
would
on the
roll.
bottom of my list.
I know, but I think for a lot of people that's probably it, right? Because all the pictures you see are these, most of them high fence
Yeah,
or big private ranches of these giant, selectively bred red stags that are hitting
500 inches.
Yeah, 5, 6, even 7.
I think I saw
I
something
heard.
that were like 800.
Yeah. So I mean, that's kind of what you see, but a lot of that you see like rolling grassland type country, right?
Yeah.
And then you see these giant stags, and obviously them roaring. I've seen enough video, and I've known enough people that have been over there to kind of know a little bit about Tahr, and like I knew what a Tahr looked like, obviously, and I've seen some of the terrain. But since we decided we're going to do this, I've been doing a lot more looking and listening to people that have been there, and it looks really gnarly.
Yeah.
A guy I listened to today on my way down, he's hunted BC, and we just had Jay in last week. Talked to Jay. Jay said, my understanding of BC, some of the most remote, rough, rocky, steep, nasty terrain. This guy that I listened to today has hunted BC and said that seemed like a cakewalk compared to what I did in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
So
The first thing I said to Cam when this started coming into play, I was like, I want to hunt the steepest, nastiest part of New Zealand. I want to be on all fours. I want ice axe.
I want to be on all fours.
Like trying to climb up that thing. Like
Yeah.
I want rugged. Everyone knows I love to suffer fast in the mountain, and it's like
You don't want to
it's
sit in
everything.
camp with a little bit of whiskey and
No, that doesn't appeal to me
Smoke
at all.
cigar.
No. Ugh.
I know
I don't like gentlemen's hunts at all.
I don't mind steep. I don't mind rocky. I really don't like cliffs. I really don't want to fall off a cliff.
You don't like heights.
I don't like heights. I don't mind a helicopter. I don't mind like, whatever it might be. I don't mind that, but I don't like cliffs edges.
Yeah.
So this one might get dicey for me.
I just like it picturesque. Like I'm thinking about like
Yeah.
different like, a film and pictures and that kind of thing. So I just want to make sure like the environment is suitable to like look very pretty on film and photos,
Mm-hmm.
which it definitely will.
Yeah.
I think it's going to push me in a way I probably haven't been pushed in a hot minute. So in that regard, it's probably pretty good. I got some LBs I need to lose, so this would be a good way to do it.
Just going with the LB loss.
I am. Yeah, I am. I'm out of shape. Like I'm not in as good a shape as I normally am or would be. So this is definitely going to push me physically. Mentally, I'm okay because I've done some stuff. Like I feel okay that I'll be fine. But like for the first few days, because I remember like Colorado this last year, the first full day backpacking, I remember being like, oh Lord,
Yeah.
I'm feeling it. You
Yeah.
know. Day 2, I was like finding my groove, no big deal. So I know that like the first day and a half, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
So I expect that, but it's gonna push me in a way that I need, which should be good. Elevation wise, I did a little
Digging.
digging.
Mm.
What do you guys think the highest point in New Zealand is? How high?
Feet wise,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say since it's so close to the ocean, I don't know, 6,000.
So that was my answer too earlier. I know the answer, so now
Yeah,
I should have
so-
told me earlier, but
Yeah, Mount Cook, 12.2.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Wow.
12.2.
and then I instantly
Huh.
mentioned it must have a lot of like relief to it because you get the ocean right next to it, like you're
Yeah.
saying. So it must be like just steep as all F.
12.2, man. That's really high.
That is.
That's all the way from ocean floor to 12. I mean, that's high. That's way higher than I would have thought. I looked and it looks like most of the stuff that we're going to be hunting would be anywhere from 2,500 to 5,000 feet, maybe 5,500. But if you're starting low and you're getting up to 5K, like you're going to feel it.
That's a
Yeah.
lot.
You're going to
Yeah.
burn some calories.
And it should be noted too, which is what I liked about the hunt that we're doing, and obviously you can do it a million different ways. Is we're gonna backpack it in.
Mm-hmm. So
Right.
talk to us a little bit about what we know already.
So
What do we know?
what do we know?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to New Zealand.
Okay.
I'm
About getting there, actually. Like,
like, what about getting there?
like, do you want to go like? How do you want to attack this? Do you want to talk about travel, or do you want to talk about? I was talking about you hit the trail,
Oh, hit the trail and we.
or are we helicoptering?
No, we're literally we're landing in New Zealand after a million different flights, trying to get my rifle. Hopefully, I'll make it there after I get my permit. Okay, you guys are bringing. I'm bringing a rifle. You both are bringing bows. We have Joe filming. We have Cam
Mm-hmm.
helping out on the hunt, and then one of Cam's buddies,
More camp buddies.
So we're rolling 60.
6
Six.
feet. And if we're landing, I guess we're driving a really long ways. We're staying at some little Airbnb type-ish camp hotel thing for a
Yep.
night to organize gear. Next day, decent little drive again to get to a spot. And then we're parking a vehicle. And then I heard it's like 15 plus miles of hiking
Backpacking.
and backpacking.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that part intrigued me. And I started looking at the map and I started analyzing the spot we're kind of going to go into. And yeah, it's straight up, straight down.
Mm-hmm.
But a really long hike to get in there. And I mean, we're hunting for, is it 8 or 9 days?
8 full days.
8 full days of hunting.
Have we
Yeah.
talked at all about helicopters? Helicopter use?
So Cam has like a backup just in case, like say, if something.
I need her left it out.
Yeah, it's like if like something were to go wrong, or if it's like, hey, we want to push it to like the ultimate last second. There is that option, but obviously we want to be like cost effective, and I think to get like a really cool like gnarly experience,
Yeah.
we want to kind of like limit the use of helos, if you will.
Yeah, and there's no knock on them either. Because
Yeah.
like my dad and his best friend went down to, New Zealand and they did the helicopter thing. They flew
Oh, your dad's been?
Yeah.
I didn't know your dad was been.
Yeah, they went 6-7 years ago, maybe.
Hunting Tahr?
Yeah, Tahr,
Really?
stag.
You
Yeah.
get one?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you have one at your house then? Did you
Yeah, he has a full body
No way.
Tahr and a full body chamois. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, see if you can text us a photo for the podcast.
Yeah, that's
he has a
cool. I had
stag.
no idea. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
one of his stag's not one of those like stupid big ones.
Sure.
But it still kind of looks like
Yeah.
it is. I think he shot the stag one obviously down low.
And they
Those
helicoptered in?
They helicoptered in,
What
yeah.
was that process like? Do you know?
I can't remember most of it, but that was more of like there's multiple. I've seen different kind of helicopter things in New Zealand. Again, not to knock their hunting style, but it's like
Oh, I think they use it like
there's some
Yeah,
that
they would use an ATV.
Right.
well, there's some that they'll just fly them in, drop you off, and then they'll leave. I've seen other ones which is a little more controversial even for New Zealand people. And again, I'm not from there. I don't know everything. This is what they do. That some of them will literally fly around, find a Tahr or chamois, and then try to drop a hunter off. And
Oh, really?
And they'll try to shoot it.
Gotcha.
And so like that's the kind of one that's like, not really my cup of tea, but if other people want to do it, cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of times I've seen them too, where they literally take the helicopter and they'll hook it up to the Tahr chamois and fly it out
Mm-hmm.
on the helicopter right
Yeah.
away. So there's a bunch of different ways to do it. And again, nothing wrong with any of them. People are still out hunting, but there's different choices.
Everything I've read, it's super common for people to get fly in, drop
Yeah.
camps,
Which is still badass.
if you will.
Because they could be really cool, I think. Because like we're obviously going to hike it, which I love backpacking, love that Sufferfest. But like to be able to see that country from the air would also be magnificent.
Yeah.
And an adventure in itself. Like, all right, let's fly over here, check out the landscape, we'll land on a certain spot, and then backpack out from there.
Yeah, a lot of the folks I've listened to and some of the podcasts I've heard are probably dated at this point, but guys were throwing out numbers like, 250 dollars.
Per person.
Yeah, per person. I would assume it's probably more than that at this point, but that's kind of a figure that stuck out to me. And then I thought it was interesting in hearing people talking to people. They've said a lot of their flights in are short, relatively quick. Like they can access country like within 15, 20, 30 minutes. you know?
Yeah.
So it's not like super long flights,
Yeah.
So I think if you are looking to go, to me anyway, I like the idea of backpacking. I mean, if it's 15 miles in one way, great,
Yeah.
let's go for it,
Yeah.
But I think it would be cool to helo in and
Oh.
set a drop camp set up and then do some hiking and hunting from there.
And
Yeah.
I fully want to, like, obviously this is a bucket list and maybe I'll never go do it again. But if I go back to New Zealand, I might want to do a helicopter flight. Because, like, some of these places that we'll talk about later, some of the ballot stuff where you have to actually get, like, kind of drawn for it. They're like wilderness area hunts where they'll drop you off. You have, like, your own little landing zone, like, you drop off in wilderness. That seems pretty cool, where you really can't hike into those ones because it would take you probably 4+ days.
Yeah.
So, like, that's a unique aspect to be like, all right, let's drop you off on the middle of this.
Yeah, see country that most people probably would
I would never see and hunt that way. So, like, I think the helicopter portion is super cool and intriguing to me.
Yeah.
Do you, when you say you might not ever go back, do you already have a sneaking suspicion that this is probably going to be the onset of something that you are going to want to do regularly?
Yeah, I think so.
I was already thinking about.
You're already thinking about going back.
Yeah.
You haven't been there yet.
I haven't even been there.
The only thing, though, I promised, because we've talked about before, if I ever went to New Zealand and never saw where they filmed Lord of the Rings, I'd probably bawl.
Do you think you might cry?
Literally, if I went to Hobbiton, I would probably bawl. It's like a life goal of mine. And
What is it?
It's a life goal. I want to go.
No, but what is it?
Hobbiton,
What is that?
where they filmed, or like the Shire.
Is it actually there?
It's actually there. Yeah,
No way.
we were looking at there. You can do a half marathon there in March.
What? Let's
And then-
let's tag out and go see.
No. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, though. I promised
I just wanna see
my
where you cry.
girlfriend I will not go there right now. I can't.
You want to go out there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I need to.
You need
back.
emotional
All
support.
right, you can wait in the truck. We'll go check out Hobbiton.
Yeah.
You need some emotional support when you get there.
If you guys are gonna do that, just let me go hunting. Well, like
I think we should go to Hobbiton.
Let's do it. I got a
even-
quote from the helicopter, $500, direct flight to Hobbiton.
Nice. So are we hunting public land? Do you guys know that?
Yeah.
Public land. I pulled some figures because I thought this was interesting. I wanted to explore like how much public land exists in New Zealand. So public land, approximately 30% of New Zealand's total land area is public land, which I didn't know. That's a lot. So it says it's managed mostly by the Department of Conservation.
DOC.
Total number of public land acres, 21 million. 3,957.
Wow.
And for reference, so New Zealand is about the same size as the state of Colorado as far as land mass goes. Yep.
That's
North and
crazy.
south combined.
Yep. That's what I found on the World Wide Webs. Interestingly enough, so Colorado, the amount of public land in Colorado is about 24 million acres.
Mhm.
New Zealand being about 21 million acres. So they're real comparable.
Yeah.
So if you think about the amount of public land, we're all familiar with Colorado. You've gone to Colorado.
Mhm.
You're all kind of familiar with it, and just like the expansiveness of public land. I mean, similar feeling, right?
Yeah.
Similar size, similar amount of acreage, which is
Yeah.
pretty incredible. Which to think that you can just show up there and hunt public land is pretty dope.
Yeah. Yeah, and I imagine most of the private land's got to be like on their flats and stuff,
Mhm.
similar just to Colorado, big cities.
Yep.
And then the public land's all where those big mountain ranges are at.
Yep. So I thought it was pretty cool. I didn't know that. So I think to most people, at least it was for me, I assumed that a lot of these red stags, which they are, a lot of them are hunted on private land, ranches. And to me, I think I always just thought like that was the bulk of what existed, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that there is just a ton of public land that you can show up and hunt.
Yeah, and a ton of animals from my
Yeah.
readings.
Yeah, we're gonna get into animals, but you look like you want to say something.
No, I mean, like, I may have jumping ahead, but getting there, as we have found out, again, we're not fully experts. We haven't been there yet.
Yes.
But like trying to figure this all out, it's logistically challenging.
Mm-hmm.
Which the figuring out part has been like one of my favorite things. Like
Yeah.
my background is in logistics, like from my previous job. So I always have fun like organizing this stuff and tracking different stuff and working with you two on going back and forth and working with Joe who's gonna be filming Cam. So the logistics is fun, but like you definitely want to make sure you got some time, at least 6 months, or we're doing it in like 3 months.
Yeah, we did it pretty rushed, but like Joe said earlier, it shows it is doable. You can
Yeah.
kind of plan it almost last minute in a sense.
Yeah, I found some cool documents. I went back and read. Like New Zealand has a great history of public land and protection, which is which is interesting. I won't dive into all of it, but I want one little passage. It says the hierarchy places the greatest weight on intrinsic value, followed by non-commercial recreation and then by tourism. An important role in conservation advocacy in New Zealand is ensuring that these three separate considerations are maintained rather than blurred. So conservation of public land is like an intrinsic, it would be interesting. That's one part I love travel hunting just because you get to see different cultures, right?
Yeah.
Like even within the United States, like even hunting the West, different states have different cultures. Like you go to Montana, it's a different culture than it is in Utah.
Right.
Thank God. But just kidding. I say that tongue in cheek. But that's one of my very favorite things. So it'd be really fun to just be with a couple of Kiwis, a couple guys that are going with us that are local.
Yeah.
Brady, you broke your mic.
Mike's breaking as I'm.
It'll be fun though, just to like get a sense of the culture and what public land and wildlife and what those opportunities are like for them, and just like get an idea of like what hunting culture is. And my understanding is that, and again, we'll have a better understanding on the backside of this, but my understanding is there's a really prevalent hunting culture, especially in the South Island.
Yeah.
Which I'm stoked about. It'd be really fun to just be a part of it, be in it, and kind of soak it up.
Yeah. I'm excited for that too.
Yeah. Do you guys, what do you want to talk populations? You want to talk species? Tahr now?
Yeah, let's talk about species.
Learn about some tahr?
Yeah.
What did you know about tahr before this came up? Your dad had one?
My dad had one. He went in May to get the rut.
Do you know how old the one he killed was?
Oh shoot!
Count rings? No.
I don't know.
You have to go home
I could
and
ask him. What?
You're gonna have to go home and count the rings.
I have to go. Yeah, fly to Minnesota quick and count them.
One ring to the rule them all.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just knew ruts in May, June.
Mm-hmm.
You're hunting them in high alpine conditions
Mhm.
and super steep and super nasty. And typically, you're gonna have to kind of like mountain goat hunting in a sense where you'll be able to find a lot of animals. Like sometimes mountain goat hunting, I think there's more tahr obviously than mountain goat, but like when I hunted mountain goat, and my dad's also hunted mountain goat a different time of year, was always like, okay, we can see a mountain goat, but if we shoot it, can we recover it? Type of thing. And if you shoot, just having that consideration. So I always thought like, okay, and then obviously watched a ton of films where people are shooting tahr and they're going tumbling down a very steep cliff area. So you have to be always cautious about, where you're hunting them and safety of you, like you said, walking through cliffs and all that. So
Yeah.
I just always knew it was a rugged hunt.
Did you know they were introduced?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. You?
I did not. Candidly had no idea. I mean, what a tahr even really was until I met Cam.
Yeah.
And he kind of.
What did he tell you about him?
Oh, it's just like this cool animal, man.
So he did the accent.
I mean, and it's the mane like a lion.
Yeah, mane like a lion. Which there's only two animals that really have like a mane like a lion, which is the lion and the tahr. Because they could actually, I believe they have like some muscles that they could actually like fluff it out and stuff. So yeah, I really didn't know anything. And then obviously, the name Himalayan tahr, I'm like, oh, okay, so they're introduced to New Zealand, but I didn't know any of the background of when or anything like that. So it was like a totally new species to me in terms of knowing and understanding. And same thing with the chamois. Like candidly didn't know much about those either. Still don't know as much as the chamois.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah.
I did a little digging. I was interested. I knew they were introduced, so introduced it in
1904.
1904. Yep. For recreational hunting, and I thought it was so Himalayan tahr. You go back and look. So native to the central Himalayan ranges of India and Nepal. They're actually considered. I guess they're actually more tahr in New Zealand than there are in their native ranges, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So I think that you probably can still hunt them in their native range, but it's like impossible, nearly impossible, very hard to do. Super rare opportunity, which is crazy.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Kind of like Texas and tigers.
Yeah, Texas and tigers. More wild. I don't know if they're not wild, I guess, but more tigers in Texas than there are in their wild native range.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't know that. I thought that was pretty interesting. I know a few years ago, I started seeing things pop up where they were trying to cull tahr.
That was very controversial.
Yeah.
It was like, what, 2016, 2018, something in there?
Yeah, I went back and looked. So total population of tahr estimated between 2016 and 2019 was between 26,500 and 44,821. So roughly kind of split the difference. They figured there were about 34,478. Their desired number of tahr is what they would like to have is 10,000.
Dang.
Yeah, which is pretty crazy. I remember reading and seeing people, getting upset that they were aerially gunning them, which they did. So I went back and did a little digging to figure out how many they actually killed. And you said that they still do annual culls.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep. And the cool thing about their Department of Conservation website and stuff, they actually show you a lot of this information. They'll tell you how many they've seen from aerial surveys and what little area. They actually put little markers on a map, and then where they're killing them and how many they're actually killing on these culls. So you can actually find a lot. And like they tell you to use this for like hunting information on their culls. Like,
where they're finding them?
Yeah, where they're finding tahr.
And then for the listeners, you guys just mind describing why they do the cullings?
It's just a little bit of vegetation on the native ranges.
Yeah, non-native. Yeah, my understanding is it's like vegetation you have that many animals in a landscape that could essentially overwhelm, species in the alpine country. Yeah. I was looking, so it looked like between July 2019 and February 2020, they culled 12,000. 12,000, and then another 7,000 between July and November of 2020. So right there, that's 19,000 that they would have culled between 2 years, essentially, year and a half.
Yeah.
That's a lot of animals.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're just flying and taking them out from a helicopter.
Yeah.
They've got no predators.
Yeah, no predators. And I think you brought it up early. I think people eat tahr. You can eat it.
Yeah.
And I read online, some people say that they didn't really like it, but I've also read lots and lots of forums. People really liked it. But you're not required to actually even take the meat,
Mhm.
harvest the meat if you don't want to.
Yeah.
And I think it's weird for us being, like Western big game hunters. We're from the West where there's, game laws and like the priority is set, as my opinion, I think it should be on harvesting animal, taking the meat, utilizing it, eating it as part of that. But I think where this species and introduced species, I think it'd be interesting to talk to those guys when we get down there, like how the perspective is for people there. Like, how do you perceive this animal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, because I've read a lot of comments, and a lot of comments are usually from people from North America commenting about them not taking the meat over there. And a lot of the New Zealanders are responding back, well, if you think about it, it's kind of like you guys and, feral pigs, feral hogs in Texas.
Right.
People go and shoot them from helicopters, they shoot them, a lot of times they just leave them there. Even though, as we all know, they're really good to eat. Like, I killed one just recently, and it's phenomenal. Made the whole thing out of, sticks. But, it's just that same sort of thing. Like, they don't really care about pigs here, and, those introduced animals over there. It's kind of that same feeling in a sense, but
It's kind of making me hungry. I skipped lunch today. I was just thinking, I've got some bear meat sticks that Jay
Oh, yeah,
gave us
yeah.
in my back.
they're actually really good.
I'm gonna hit those when I get.
I was thinking what meal you're gonna make out of the tar when we get.
Yeah, we are. I've been thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to do a stew. I think stew sounds good, doesn't it? Nice stew.
On a foggy morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Evening, maybe you're all gathered around, you're in the tent, hanging out, you do a nice stew.
I like
It
that.
does sound we're eating like hobbits up there.
Tar stew sounds pretty incredible.
Probably will be
I
really
also
good.
want to eat some straight off the barbie, Just
Just cook it on a stick.
just cook it on a stick.
Yeah.
Salt and pepper.
Me and Brady've done that with mountain lion, huh?
Yeah.
It's actually really good. No, I am looking forward to those times though, because those are when you think about a hunt. And here's the thing: is like when you talk about a trophy. I mean, is a tar like the tip top of the chain as far as a trophy species for me? And I know trophy's a dirty word, but to me, like the thing that I'm really looking forward to is like this experience.
Yeah.
Just the terrain, the challenge,
The travel.
buddies, the travel, culture, different food. I heard today that I was telling Brady earlier, a guy had gone, he booked an Airbnb to stay in on his way out. And on his way out, the guy that had the Airbnb met him, talked to him, and he was like, oh, I've got, killed a tar. And he had some, back straps out of this tar. And he ended up trading this guy some tar back straps for some lobster. I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
Some tar backstrap lobster on the beach.
Oh, some surf and turf.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It sounds incredible.
That'd be cool.
So those are the types of things I'm super looking forward to.
Yeah.
Really
And
excited.
as I've said before too, like traveling I've only done one international hunt, but I love that whole travel portion of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep saying, like, I hope we document that really well, because I think that is such an exciting time. It's also stressful. Shit always goes wrong when you're trying to fly places, as we know, and like being stuck in an airport or sitting there reading a book for a while or being on an airplane. Like, I enjoy that part because it's like excitement's building, it's building and building, and try to document it, and then you land somewhere cool you've never been. It's like, okay, never gonna land there and have to go get some, backpacking food. Like, that part's gonna be cool to me too. Like going into a local grocery store, like driving on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah.
Like all that crazy stuff I'm looking forward to. And it's not just the hunt, killing a tar, but it's everything else on top of it.
Yep. I want to get it like towards the tail end of this. What I would like to do is like to talk about those things so that like somebody, if they wanted to do this, they could figure out how to do it. So I want to talk travel and gear and all those things.
Yep.
But I thought it was interesting. So I want to go through because I learned a lot about tar as I was kind of working on the podcast and then just also like kind of studying up to go on the hunt. So reproduction cycle, tar primarily mate in the fall and early winter months. So breeding season being they're opposite of us because they're in the southern hemisphere. So primary breeding from May and June. And then I guess July is like their peak winter down there, right? So opposite of us.
So weird.
This could be weird,
It's
huh?
backwards.
I know, completely backwards.
Everything.
That's what's great about this. I can totally avoid the summer.
Yeah.
I'm everywhere
Oh,
I
I
go.
love that idea.
Yeah, 'cause I hate
that
the
sounds
heat.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should just go there for 3 months.
Yeah, I agree. Go there for the winter months. We hang out the winter here and fall here. Like, yeah.
I was talking to a guy in the showroom a little bit, and he was like, "Oh, what are you doing soon?" I was like, "Oh, we're going to New Zealand." And we started talking about this seasons and winter and the flip, and he was like, He's like, man, wouldn't that be so weird? You're like celebrating Christmas. It's like the hottest part of your year, you know?
It's so weird.
It's like you're just sitting there in flip flops celebrating baby Jesus.
It's like last year when I was in Florida for Christmas.
Yeah.
I was in
Wow, to me.
Mexico on
Yeah.
the beach.
Yeah, kind of weird. I did so females, nannies. So here's a weird one. Why do they call a male Tahr a bull,
Yeah.
but a female
Yeah, we literally had a discussion 2
a
weeks
nanny?
ago.
And I don't know. I want to find the answer
Yeah.
out when we get back. But they call it a bull Tahr, which you think it'd be called a billy, right?
Mhm.
But nope.
Nope.
Bull and
Bull and
nanny.
nanny.
Yep. So a nanny will give birth to a single kid after a gestation period of 180 days.
And again, they call it a kid instead of a cow.
A kid. Yep.
When we call it a bull.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. That is weird, huh? I thought this was interesting. So breeding strategy. So like a bull elk, one bull Tahr will have his group of nannies, right? And they kind of compete. So polygamous or poly, right? As far as like breeding strategy goes. I thought this was interesting is that the nannies will select a bull partly by the color and like the depth, the breadth of their
I
mane.
mean, yeah.
Yeah, which is cool,
that's really cool.
you know. And that's why I think that's what I really hope is I hope I get a crack at like a really maned out, you know, like long haired.
You're already visualizing it like when we were on Pothead Hunt when that mane,
Yeah.
like little beard was like blowing in the wind and you're getting a full draw on this Tahrs is going. Do they fight?
Says they do.
Yeah,
A little
like-
bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bulls will kind of fight a little bit for dominance. And they do have like a, you know, curled back horn. They grow just like a sheep or a goat would, right? So you can count the growth rings. I did read that it said they can live to like 14, 15 years old. And then horn length, I think I read somewhere that somebody shot one that was like 14, 15.
14, 15 is like
Like an
exceptional.
absolute giant.
Yeah.
But I think like a good solid trophy, you're talking 10, 11, 12 inches, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, so I've already been writing down a bunch of notes.
Okay,
Notes
so what do you got?
Well, not a lot yet, but I'm piecing it together. I could probably try to find it right now, but it's like just trying to field judge them is
Mhm.
difficult. Everything I've watched videos, people talking about, there's good, decent articles out there. It's like the swooping back, now it goes up and then kind of comes back a little bit. The width is going to be good. Also looking at the mane,
Mhm.
like if it is one of those big ones that's more blonde, it's probably going to be older one, which most likely might mean bigger horns as well.
Mass.
Yeah, so try to judge all that. It's like, because I've seen some videos where I'm watching, they're like, oh yeah, that's a young one. I'm like, that's a young one? I need to do a lot more work because
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it. So
I
it's
think
like,
it's going to be one of those things where you're going to have to see an old one, a big one, to actually know what it
Yeah.
looks like.
yeah. Yeah, it's like when we were oddad hunting.
Yeah.
We kept thinking some of those oddad were like great, like, oh,
Yeah.
look at that big one. Then you finally see an exceptional one,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, yeah, now our standards are
Now I know what
up
I'm looking
yeah.
for.
Yeah, that's one where I'm gonna rely on Cam and be like, it's an impressive one or
I just,
pass.
I just pulled up my notes. So I have it titled New Zealand, so I can instantly search and find it. Looking for body size. Big body, usually mature. The bull is looking at you. Good height of horn and sweeping back. Good bull, 11, 13. Exceptional, like you said, 14 or 15. And then mane, people are saying, is also part of the trophy. So some guys might shoot one because it has really good mane.
That's the
Maybe it's
trophy.
maybe it's an average horn length, but the mane, that cool part as well.
Yeah, that's a trophy for me. I'm looking for like a real high owl.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You're not gonna skull cap it?
I'll take a euro. We'll do euro, but
Yeah.
because they're small enough, I think I can be okay with that. But depends on how whipped I am. But yeah, the height I think is what I'm really looking for. I thought this was interesting. So average male Tahr usually weighs about 161 pounds. They can get up to like 250 though.
Wow.
Yeah, like 200, 250. Female average 79, 80 pounds. Most people most sites that I read said that they're pretty comparable to our North American Rocky Mountain goat.
Yeah.
As far as size goes, which is a pretty sizable animal, pretty good sized animal.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is cool. I was interested. So when we get into the hunt strategy a little bit, but I was curious as to like what kind of behavior, like what a Tahr do.
Mm-hmm.
So typically, what I read is that they typically feed down in the evening, and they'll spend like the night feeding it like lower elevations where there's more vegetation, water typically, and then they'll work their way back up the hill early morning, mid morning, and end up bedding. So like even though there's no natural predators, I guess, and they have same hooves, right? You read about mountain goat hooves, kind of the spongy core, same kind of makeup. But yeah, they spend basically their days kind of ledged out in that real rocky, nasty, craggy cliff cave country.
Love it.
I'm trying to figure out how I can get ahead of one.
I know.
That was when I read this and I was kind of doing some research on like behavioral and how they act. My mind is instantly going to like how am I going to kill one?
You can try to
with a
ambush
bow.
it and wait.
That's the thing is if I
Find a path.
if I can figure it out, if I actually can observe some sort of pattern here, like okay, we're moving down this draw, of an evening, and we're kind of picking them out, coming up the the next morning. If I can bivouac out and get above them and get the wind, maybe potentially and ambush, yeah.
Because that was kind of a struggle for a little bit. I was asking you found a lot of like bow hunting tactics for Tahr.
There are not a lot of video. There's some,
Yeah.
but there's not a ton
Yeah.
of like documented archery.
And the ones I've seen they look like either different part of New Zealand or on some private, like different kind of country that we're going into.
Yeah.
But speaking of bow, while we're on the subject, have you researched how long their hair is?
No.
I haven't done a lot, but I saw some guys talking about it could be like 9 inches, 10 inches.
Oh, wow.
But like the reason why I'm looking at a picture of a Tahr on my computer right now and like shot placement,
Oh yeah.
it's gonna have to be consideration. Like
So what have you found out?
because I don't know how far that hair hangs below the body, but if it is something big like a bear, or something like that, that bears aren't, really long hair, but I think it's gonna be a lot longer. Like where is the optimum shot placement on there? Is there a spot you can see, to try to find that heart lung area? So might be looking
Mid-body.
at that. Yeah. Like how what's the depth of their body compared to what their hair is?
I'm actually gonna look it up right now.
Yeah, I think that'd be kind of cool.
Tahr vitals. I want to look to see exactly
Vitals.
how big they are. I'll see if I can find it before we're done. So let's dive into like actually tags, permits, licenses.
Yep.
So we're obviously used to hunting Western big game. You gotta play the lottery and draw tags. You gotta buy tags over the counter. What do we know about getting a tag? Season dates.
Year round with no specific hunting license. You do have to get a
Permit.
hunting permit. It's free. You just got to go select, the area that you're going to be going to. So it's just I don't know what they're using that for in a sense, but we have to print that off and carry that with us the whole time, or go pick one up at a Department of Conservation.
Just to
Off
collect
of there.
data, probably.
Yeah.
It's collecting a little bit of data.
Have you guys both done yours?
Yeah, I did mine yesterday.
I'm gonna do mine today. You do have to pick your zone, though, right?
You could, or just select all of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna hunt the whole.
The whole
Want all
state.
the islands.
country.
Yeah, and then but yeah, so it's basically over the counter 365.
And you don't have to pay for the permit,
No.
so there's no fee.
No.
Nope.
Your fee is your plane ticket
Yeah.
Yeah, travel,
and travel, essentially.
which is such a crazy thing to think about in
Yeah.
regards to an opportunity to go hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't have to buy a hunting license. You don't have to buy a permit for the animal.
Yeah.
You don't have to apply.
Yeah, and you can hunt year round.
Yeah.
There's probably some really good hunters from New Zealand.
And there's just no limit. Like you could
Mm-hmm.
shoot a couple of them, and that's why a lot of the other videos I've watched too. And people are talking about the cull and all that stuff. They're like, oh yeah, some of these guys who they're locals. They say, oh yeah, for every bull tar we shoot, we'll shoot a nanny to help some of that cull stuff out, so they don't have maybe less helicopter guys.
Do you guys have expectations on what you want to shoot? Like what would ideal look like?
Ideally,
Yeah.
you stalking one and not getting it, and I have to shoot it over top of you.
I was gonna say, I already know how this one goes. We're gonna find the biggest one, and then Brady's gonna shoot it because he's got a rifle.
I think we should talk about that. How are we going to attack this?
Are we gonna do who saw it first?
That's usually the way we go.
I think you got to do who saw it first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
The
then if it's just not in the spot, then we have to turn it over to the guy with the gun.
yeah, that's only going to be the difficult part. And I say that jokingly. Obviously, I want to have you guys stalk them first, and then do your thing. And then, if needed, if it's a really big one, they tell maybe I'll go after it. But I don't really want to have a rushed opportunity like that. I want to have a one-on-one experience with the animal. So, like, I jokingly say that, but I'd rather go way up higher and go shoot with my rifle in some nasty hole.
I don't want the experience for you that one of us blows a stock and you just shoot it.
I don't want that at all.
for you either.
No.
Yeah.
That's not fun because I want to work up in the terrain. That's what I mentioned earlier. We'll talk gear at the end, but
Why don't you make it your own?
that's why I think I'm going to pick up some crampons.
Mhm.
Like, I want to do something crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're also,
Safely, but crazy.
we're also having talks about like potential split up. So like you could go with Joe and then
Yeah.
Trail could go together.
I think we're gonna have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially with you guys with the bow. And like, that's why I was jokingly talking to Omar the other week. I was like, have you seen how steep that terrain is? Like, and like, I showed him a little video and I'm like, just vision yourself right now where that Tahr is. And there was a video where a guy shot with a rifle and ended up falling down a bunch of ab shoot type stuff.
Mhm.
Like, you're going to be navigating that with your bow. You're going to have to walk in that stuff. Like, straight up, straight down. And then you fail stock and you get calling back out of there and try to find a way to do it safely. So, like, utilizing maps, dropping your breadcrumb trail as you're going down to a stock is going to be essential, I believe. And then, coming back out that same route because you want to find one that you can climb up, climb down. So it's like,
You're gonna have to use all the tools in your kit
yeah.
for sure. I think it's probably never been a hunt that I've been on where it was more paramount that I lay tracks as I'm going in and out so that I can safely return in the dark if need be, which is highly likely, I would suggest.
And we will say, even though we don't have any, roads, trails, that sort of thing, GOHUNT Maps does work in New Zealand. So we can drop tracks ourselves and drop waypoints and do all that sort of thing. So then you can download, satellite imagery, but it's not going to be the highest quality. But
So let's talk cost. What's it going to cost somebody to do this?
Omar does have a pretty good sheet here. I'm looking at it right now.
Come on, logistics king.
So cost per with like some rough. I could get the actuals out like eventually once we actually go through everything and like maybe we'll have like a recap on everything. But the cost per on the guesstimate is about $2,800.
$2,800.
Hold on. Now that's including, you have to look at the upper one, 2109.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for travel. Yeah, so
break it down.
I'll break it down the two ways. In the $2,800, that's kind of thinking about some food, like that's including food, some weapon fees, and then other expenses. Like for example, on this expense, I had like a passport, so I had to renew my passport. So that's including that. But like for just travel to get to New Zealand, you're looking at around $2,100. And for this trip specifically, I think our airfare was, let's see,
so that's round trip.
That's round trip.
Okay. 2,100.
2100.
And then equipment wise, you probably, I mean, if you're like us and you've been playing the game and you've been hunting out west, you probably have most of the equipment that you need. I don't think that you guys are buying any additional equipment that I can think of.
No.
We can dive into it here in a minute when we talk gear specifically, but for the most part, gear, you've got gear.
Yeah.
So travel expenses is the big one.
Yep.
$2,100.
Yeah, $2,100, and that's like kind of factoring in hotels, some travel meals, some transportations to and from. But like our tickets for the three of us and Joe, our cameraman, was like $1,400 each.
Plane tickets.
Yeah.
And we booked them, 2 months in advance.
Yeah, 2
So
months in
we
advance.
definitely could probably find them cheaper. So I think earlier when we looked, they were like $1,100.
Yeah.
When we first looked in like January.
Yeah.
So loosely, let's say $1,400 for a plane ticket.
Yep.
We're gonna stay. You probably end up having to stay one night when you land.
Mhm.
Probably one night
When you leave.
leave.
Yep.
So you're talking maybe $150, $200 maybe for a hotel.
Yep.
Okay, so that's additional. We'll say $300, $350. So those are your big costs, and then food costs, just like I think we're just packing like we would on any backcountry elk hunt that we're going backpack hunting on, right?
Yeah, we could touch on that part, but yeah, food costs mostly is just like factoring in like the airport food and all that stuff.
Mhm.
So definitely you could do it like in a way I think
On the cheap.
Yeah, if you pack in the States like on the cheap and pre-pack some food to eat before you actually take off on that long trip, I think you could kind of do it on the low.
Which I love packing some PB&Js on flights. And trying to do it on
Yeah,
on the
and
dirt cheap.
we're lucky in that we know some people. We've got ground transport to
Mhm.
where we're going to end up going and,
Yep.
and hiking from there.
Yep.
So if you didn't have that, I would assume you could probably rent a vehicle,
Mhm.
or you would end up going with a helicopter, which would be an additional cost. But I was thinking about it, and my thoughts. I didn't put like travel. I didn't put it to a spreadsheet like you guys have, but I was thinking that you could probably realistically do this for, I would say, under like $3,200, three
Yeah.
grand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and obviously we didn't choose like the helicopter route. I think kind of just for our style, and then
Sure.
also like candidly it kind of can be expensive. So like Cam told us that it's like 500 per head.
Mhm.
So I was like, ooh, that's like a good way to potentially get something shot down to not go to New Zealand. I'm like, okay, I mean, I don't mind suffering and hiking in, and then we have like the helicopter on the backup just in case someone were to get hurt, or we just need to get out of there like super quick because it might be like missing flights and diving into other expenses. So we have it like on the back end, but this trip we're trying to do it as least expensive as possible,
Mhm.
and we're lucky enough to have those buddies, Cam and his buddy, to drive 6 guys out there, including themselves, and then kind of like having like the insider knowledge where he's been able to tell me where to book a hotel for that night, and then if we need to, we could go to Cam's house at the end of it and take a shower quickly
Mhm.
there before we hop on a plane to travel 18 hours.
Mhm.
So I was thinking about it. So we'll say loosely 3 grand. Is this the best bargain in adventure hunting right now?
I think. Yeah.
I would say that it is.
Yeah.
Probably is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really go to Alaska and do. I mean, you'd be maybe. I think you'd be more to do
Yeah.
like a blacktail hunt on Kodiak. You might be able to do it cheaper, but I would think it would be pretty close, which is a big adventure style hunt.
Mm-hmm.
I would say this is probably even more so because the travel is so far. It's such a gnarly landscape. Just an animal that you'll.
Well, then let's throw it out there too, though. Like, not even just comparing it to Alaska. Compare it to a guy who lives in Pennsylvania and wants to go
Mm-hmm.
pick on Colorado.
Yeah.
All right. What's average it out to? Like most of these states are $800 to $1,000 for an elk tag,
Yep.
and you got all that gas.
Yeah.
And yeah, you might be able to fly out there, but then you have to try to still fly everything home, coolers,
Yeah.
everything. You still have to rent a vehicle. Like, cost can be pretty comparable between the
Yeah.
two.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
You
To
can
go
fly-
somewhere
You can fly to
international?
New Zealand on public land and go on a crazy adventure for about the same amount that you could drive from the East Coast to Colorado and do an elk hunt.
Yeah. And I bet you it's one of those things too, like when the guy from the East Coast goes out to Colorado, he's gonna learn a ton of stuff
Yeah.
that he's gonna do different. I feel like, you get a couple years into doing like a New Zealand trip like this, you could pretty much like streamline it and just be very efficient on
Mm-hmm.
travel or like people that and all that stuff, and you can make it a pretty decent annual thing or like every other year,
Mhm.
and then have it really cost effective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always looking through things from a lens of like, what could I do, like with my kids? Like, what could I actually afford? You know what I mean? And I can't afford to take my kid, like a lot of places to hunt different species, even in the States, right?
Mhm.
But this is like an adventure hunt that I think once they got a little bit, well, my youngest particularly, because he's more interested in hunting, but I think as he got older, into his teenage years, young adult, I think this is probably a hunt that we could save up and do together. And to
Yeah.
me, that's really cool and really incredible, actually. To like, oh, I could actually do this hunt. Like, what a crazy adventure for me and my kid that would be.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Okay. Do you want to talk? So we talk costs. Do you want to talk gear?
I love thought gear.
Okay. What kind of gear are we taking for this big rip?
So, like we kind of mentioned, though, it's pretty much the same gear you have for Western big game elk or mule deer.
Okay.
Bear.
So what are you taking for backpack?
Initial ascent, 8K backpack.
Okay.
The big.
Or Roka.
Okay.
What are you?
Same. Gabe Zorka.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The Cafargo. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of days to pack a lot of equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk clothing layering system. So being that it's May, which was kind of their fall, right? temperatures we're hearing are going to be anywhere from 20 degrees, below freezing, slightly below
Yeah,
freezing, to
good
maybe
night.
like daytime highs in the 50s.
Mhm.
Is kind of what I'm hearing.
Exact spring bear kit.
Okay.
Yeah, like 50, 60. Yeah, 50s. And then one thing that we didn't touch earlier, but since we're like on the weather and close topic, I think our biggest thing to having as much success as like we want is making sure like that fog doesn't fog us in.
What are you going to do about
That's
that?
how the fog.
Can you command the fog?
I wish.
That's what it sounded like he was saying. The biggest
That's
thing
what it sounded like.
is
It's
trying to
like,
command
man, my
the fog.
biggest consideration is I'm going
Tell-
to blow that fog out.
Tell the fog machine to leave.
Yeah, there's probably a high likelihood that you'll lose a day or two. You could.
Yeah, a guy just DM'd me today that he was there for 6 days and he saw like 15, 20 tar. And a couple of those days he was weathered in.
Yeah. And then, I think with that too kind of comes some contingency plans that we didn't talk about earlier, but we do have a backup plan to go to different spots. If, say, like that area that we first go into, which is spot A, have a B and C option just to make sure we kind of go in and out.
Gotcha. So clothing systems, what are you guys taking?
Who wants to go? We're all going to be in the same clothing system, so.
It's almost not released. Can't talk about it.
Yeah,
all.
we can talk about it.
Can we?
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
done videos all about it.
We have?
Yeah. It's been the off season.
That's why I was going crickets there.
No, man, let it out of the bag.
Put it out of the bag?
Yeah,
Jeez.
Have at it.
Jeez. Well, we got base layer.
Okay.
Going approach.
Are you going the approach?
Well, approacher, I'm going to bring approach for traveling.
Are you going to go approach light or the regular approach?
No, I'm going to go base and marina probably for the hunt.
That's what I'm doing.
But I'm
Base-
saying approach.
Base and Merino.
Like I'm going to have one of those, but you could have either or.
I think
Oh,
we'll do
Black,
approach
black rock. Black rock hoodie.
Okay. Mid.
You're going to have atmosphere.
Okay.
You're going to have our down
Jacket.
jacket, whatever that's going to be called.
Down hoodie. Mm-hmm.
And bring down pants,
Okay.
the GOHUNT ones.
Are you going to take down leggings? Not down leggings.
The
race
merino leggings?
merino
Yeah.
leggings. You are?
Yeah, yeah.
Huh.
It gets cold in the morning when you're sitting there last
I
night.
was debating with Omar about whether I'm taking it or not. I'm not taking it. I'm gonna
Okay.
take.
That'll be a game time decision.
I'm gonna take down pants.
Yeah. You're not going to take them at all.
Nope.
Not even just leave in the truck.
Nope. Nah, I'm going. Yeah,
So
I'm not,
minimalist.
I'm not taking anything I'm not going to use, and I'm not going to wear.
What if you get over there and you wish you had it?
One or two
I
pairs
will.
of socks.
Okay.
I've never wished I had leggings ever.
Hmm.
They're too hot.
There's times I wish to add them.
Really? I can't think of any.
We taking one pair of socks or two?
Socks? I'll take two, but I'm
What
not.
about-
I'm not packing two. I'll take one on the one I'm wearing on my feet to go home.
Yeah.
But I'm not taking a backup pair of socks.
Pack a pair of underwear.
Nope.
Nope.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
One pair the whole time.
I think on my base, I'm actually gonna take the approach light.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna go hunt basin merino hoodie.
Yep.
Okay.
It's got to be the hoodie.
Yep.
I don't
For
believe
su-
it should.
for sure.
I don't believe you should have a base though. It's non-hooded.
So did I hear you say you're gonna take the black rock hoodie, which is like a grid fleece hoodie,
Yep.
and an atmosphere jacket,
Yep.
and a down jacket?
Yep. And then rain jacket.
I'm only gonna take the atmosphere jacket and a down jacket.
Okay.
I'm gonna cut that black rock out.
I get cold.
What are you taking? Same thing?
Yeah. I'll for tops. I'll do the approach light, the black rock, the atmosphere, our puffy jacket, and our rain jacket. So I have 5 tops.
Right. Yeah, you didn't touch on rain jacket.
No, rain. I think it's a rain jacket. A couple seconds ago. Yeah,
Gotcha.
throw it on top.
And rain pants.
And rain pants for sure.
I'm trying to slim this thing out as much as I can. That's probably why I don't need leggings either. It's like you could always throw your rain pants over your down if you need an extra little layer of warmth.
I just like it for evenings a lot of times, hanging out. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, you can put your down pants on
You taking a beanie?
always.
Okay, well, how are you taking?
Haven't
Trailblaze black.
Oh, really? Is that like a trucker?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably
Some
probably
structure
do.
to it?
Yeah.
Really? That's your go-to hunting hat?
That's the first hat I
Is it
successfully
good,
killed an
is,
animal with.
so is that what it is? Is it a good luck thing?
I think so.
Okay, fair enough. What do you
Nice
think?
class.
Softy?
Either the softy or the Trailblaze. I can't remember the one I used to always take, that tan looking one that I always take bear hunting.
Oh, the Hydra.
Yeah, the Hydra.
Yeah.
That was a good one too. But it'll be, again, game time decision which hat I'm going to toss in or not.
Okay. Socks? What do you wear for socks?
Darn tough.
Okay.
I'm gonna take our merino socks. I used them last year in New Mexico and I really liked them, so I'll take them again.
Okay. And what about boot selection and why?
La Sportiva Equilibrium. The SLs, I believe, are mine. The synthetic one.
Yeah. Yeah. The leather. There's a leather.
ST.
synthetic.
ST. Sorry.
So
Yeah.
you're taking synthetic?
STGTX.
Yeah.
Are you worried about blowing the sides of those out?
No.
On some of that scree?
No.
Okay.
No. This comes from a leather guy. Like I'm all leather all the time. But yeah, I think I'm trying to bolt on kind of like that boot more than the leather one.
Okay.
I just didn't like how the leather felt. It felt cheap.
Gotcha. Omar, same thing?
I'm taking an Equilibrium, but it's the LTGTX, so it has the synthetic leather.
So tell me what it is about those boots that you guys like and why you think they're applicable for a trip like this.
Yeah, so I hate stiff boots.
And these are relatively stiff.
Yeah, they're stiff. But the stiff boots I tried in the past, for whatever reason, just didn't work. For whatever reason, tried breaking them in. My feet didn't really feel happy in them. But my feet feel happy in them. So maybe I found something that actually works for me.
Okay.
So I've been testing them out lately, doing some hikes, tried them on first time. It's like, there's a boot that I put my foot into it, and I don't know, I got happy feet. They're just like, ooh, I like these. And, saw some insoles back and forth, and I just like,
Did you put new insoles in these?
yeah, I put the sheep feet in
Okay.
there. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But I just think, like, for this hunt, I wanted a stiff boot.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted something that I could literally just dig my toe in and push up because the terrain's going to be so steep. I'm normally a guy who likes leather boots and like really flexible boots. But for this hunt, I was like, I want that benefit of being able to just go toe in, climb, and then be crampon compatible. Because like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to bring my crampons.
Yeah. I had a guy DM me the other day and he asked me, he's like, hey, do you think that people that wear stiff boots, like it essentially is it a crutch for like having weak ankles or that your the feet and your muscles, your legs aren't up to par, essentially, right? So he was kind of making, I don't know if he'd read it or had heard it, but basically he's like, what are your thoughts on it? I keep going back to for a few years I hunted in like a really super flexible trail runner for elk,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
And I had like a 45-pound, 50-pound backpack, and it was great for just like running around cruising. Once I got more weight in my backpack, or like on days where I was like really covering a lot of ground and real steep terrain, I found that my legs were just absolutely smoked because I had no stability, like no support in my footbed to like kind of help me and hold me up. And that hunt, I'm thinking of a hunt in particular where I wore the first half of the hunt, I wore a flexible trail running shoe, and then the back half of it, I wore a stiff mountain boot. And without a doubt, my legs felt way better in the stiff boot and like steep terrain, climbing up and down hills. And so for me, that's like kind of the reason I'm thinking. Actually, I got a new pair of boots today. I bought a new pair today.
Which ones?
I bought the Zodiac, the Scarpa Zodiac, the new one.
Mm.
It's actually a little more flexible than I might like for this hunt, but the reason I was thinking about it is I know that we have like a 15 mile hike in before we really start to climb. And I want a boot that's flexible enough that I can cover that terrain. I feel like without like having super sore feet by the time I get there. So I wanted a little bit more flex than I might want when I actually start climbing uphill. So it's kind of like a middle of the road decision. Like I wanted it stiff enough, but I didn't want it so stiff that I couldn't cover those initial miles comfortably.
And that was my initial thought process was, do I bring 2 pairs of boots for that?
Yeah, and I've thought about that too.
And just hike with something a little more flexible for relatively up and down, long miles. And then once we get to the area where we're going to be like, okay, we're going straight up. Swap boots and ditch them down below, mark them on the...
So prior to the podcast, I tried on like 6 different pairs of boots out there. And obviously we're getting pretty close. So the next 3 weeks, I guess, I'll be living in those things.
It's less than 3 weeks, Joe.
2 weeks, whatever it is. And if they work great, if they don't, then I'll go back to the Equilibrium boots too, because that's what I've got. And I had those and I broke them in and I've worn them on hunts. I wore them to Texas.
I like the back heel area.
The heel on those things
when you're going downhill
is deep.
Double heel.
I've never seen a lug, a tread on a boot that's that deep, that big. It's huge. Yeah. So that's kind of, I was trying to find something like middle of the road, I feel like, and we'll see.
I'm excited for those boots. Like I said, I've seen you wear them before. You wore them. Have you worn them?
I've never worn them.
You haven't?
How many you have never worn them?
I mean, I have like the
breaking
ones.
them, man?
Yeah, the ones that I have, I've been Take them
Yeah.
out to the desert shooting and hiking.
But I've always been intrigued by those, and I'm glad I finally.
I've wanted them.
'Cause I think I'm gonna roll into fall hunts with them too. So,
Mm.
or next year bear hunting. So
Are yours the red and yellow accented ones?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, me
yeah,
too.
I like those that accented color a lot. I dislike what Lorenzo calls them,
What's it called?
the Ronald McDonald boots.
Oh, I thought I called them that.
Lorenzo,
Did
I don't
you
know.
coin-
I don't
did
know
you
who
coin
coined
that
it
one
here in the
first?
office, so.
Yeah. I mean, if you think of the red and the yellow, you can't help but think of McDonald's, right?
I don't.
I
I don't eat there.
just hope the hamburger doesn't come and get it.
Yeah.
Hey, did you switch out insoles? Or are you doing regular insoles?
I have the regular insoles.
So I did just put new insoles in those boots.
Yeah.
And I put the Oboes ones in, which is not like they're not expensive. I think they were like $40 or something, but they feel pretty good. Yeah, they definitely feel better than the stock inserts. So
Yeah.
you may.
I have some Fleet Feet ones that I think I got fitted for, but those were like for like running.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I've used those for the last couple of years, and same thing. They're not expensive. I think $30-$40.
Something that I haven't thought about, which I'll ask you guys: are you taking down mittens or just gloves?
Just gloves.
I was torn on that. Most likely I will.
Yeah.
Because again, I got long ass arms.
My hands get cold.
They get cold.
Yeah, if I'm carrying a bow in one hand, it's exposed all the time. You know, I thought maybe down mittens.
Yeah, I want to show on the outside, so if it is raining and stuff, I can still sit there in glass. So
Yeah. Which reminds me, I probably need to get a new pair of down mittens because my 12-year-old torched them.
yeah. Well, speaking of footwear, still though, are you guys gonna pack in Crocs?
Yes, I already have them to the side. I'm packing Crocs.
I think I'm packing Crocs.
You
I
guys'
normally
pack is
don't.
going to be 80 pounds going.
It always is. Have you ever bear hunted? This
It's
is
going to be
typical.
80 pounds going in and 150 going out.
I don't know.
No, man, I'm not packing Crocs. I don't need Crocs.
I don't think so. We have ever either. Like I don't bring them bear hunting. But like
You just want them?
I kind of want them for
What
this.
about down booties? You bringing those?
I don't think so.
I would rather bring down booties than Crocs.
That's a good point.
You're not gonna use my Crocs then. I
I'm
can't.
definitely not using your Crocs.
All right.
I'm going to use down booties. I'm going to pee in your Croc at night. While it's sitting out front.
Do we have the down booties yet?
I don't know. I think we should have them.
Okay, so if we have our go hunt ones, then
Yeah.
If we have our go home ones, I'd rather use those than the Crocs.
If not, I'm still taking my regular down.
because the way we designed them was meant to, like we're saying, be able to walk.
Yeah, walk around camp.
Yeah.
So they're lighter than
So
Crocs.
stay tuned for those because they're
And
sweet.
they're dual use. They insulate better. So
But I've always wanted to. Again, I like the struggle and adventure, but I've always thought it'd be really cool to shoot something in my Crocs.
oh my.
I don't know why, but just like sit around camp and glass and like, oh, there's an animal, and then walk like 100 yards and
Yeah.
shoot with my Crocs on.
So we talked about backpacks. You're taking an 8K. Ours is what, 6,500 ish.
Yes,
like that. I
yeah.
would say.
Are you taking the top load on yours or no?
Heavens no.
Yeah, it's the
Wait,
drop drawer.
dude.
Oh, I forget.
Heavens no. I'm not. What other kind of gear? So let's talk camping equipment, sleep systems.
Okay.
What are you taking? What are we doing for shelter?
Oh, we're doing 2 teepees,
Okay.
no stoves.
Yep. Nothing to burn.
Nope. And someone will probably use that. You guys seen us leak it, that Go Hunt one man
Mm-hmm.
shelter. We can bring that over there. The shelter's maybe.
What are you doing for a sleeping bag?
We do the Peaks sleeping bag,
Okay. Which is rated to 15.
15.
Okay. You?
I believe.
Someplace, sure.
If I remember right.
15?
Yeah.
Gotcha. I think I'll take that out Raleigh, which is a 20-degree bag, but I felt like it sleeps pretty warm.
Okay.
So I'll probably take that one. That's at the top of the list right now. It could be that like I throw in the old Western Mountaineering Versalite, gets me down to 10 degrees. But the last time I slept in that Argyle, I was really depressed. Ground cloth? You taking a ground cloth?
Like a Tyvek one?
Tyvek? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Sleeping straight on the ground then?
Yep.
Yeah.
Tyvek. Okay. Sleeping pads?
The Thermarest, the yellow one.
Neo Air?
Yeah, the Neo Air.
Okay. X-Lite? You?
I'm sad that they discontinued the Uber Light
Oh, you wanted it lighter.
because Uber Lights had issues.
You're going to
but
carry Crocs, but take the Uber.
what do you mean?
125.
I mean, you could take the more insulated,
I don't need insulated.
more durable sleeping pad.
The insulation part never.
It's definitely more durable than the
It's more
overnight.
durable, yeah.
For
That's
sure.
why they got rid of it, because the baffles on the
Yeah,
inside
would pop.
would pop all the time.
Yeah.
I had one that did that, but that was after 2 years of hard use. So I'm just taking the normal, X-Lite.
Yeah, X-Lite, same thing for me.
Yeah.
I think it's the best pad on the market.
Pillow?
I'm taking a pillow.
Okay.
Inflatable.
Oh,
No
you're
props
taking a
being
pillow?
back filling.
You taking a pillow?
I take a Dyneema sleeve that then I shove my clothes into. So
Yeah.
no.
So
But yes.
our gully has a pillow that goes in with the bag, right? That you can take. It's like down stuff, and then you can stuff a down jacket into like a little compartment if you want it beefed up. But I probably will leave that at home and just take the inflatable Cedar Summit.
Oh, Cedar Summit.
Yeah, the Aeros Ultralight, which is only 1.3 ounces.
Yeah.
So it's super light.
I found the key with those pillows. You almost got, for me at least, you almost got to blow it up like just a little bit.
Because it'll
Mhm.
squirt out.
Yeah, if you blow it up too much, it's gonna squirt out.
Yeah, but I gotta have a pillow. I gotta sleep.
Yeah.
for sure.
You gotta
That's where I'm
recover.
fortunate. I can just close my eyes and go to bed.
Yeah, are you taking a bivvy?
No tarp.
Okay,
Just in
Tarp?
case, Yeah.
taking a tarp.
Taking a tarp.
GOHUNT Dyneema tarp.
Mhm.
Okay. Are you not sleeping under that? You're just basically taking that for like
I wanna be able
protection
to
or
glass
if
when it's
you wanna be
raining.
able to glass, right?
Glass when it's raining, and I think for us, if like we do end up like on a nasty stalk away from camp, we could literally just pitch a tarp and sleep there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I am gonna take a bivvy. I'm gonna take the Rab Alpine bivvy.
Oh, you are?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wow, all this added weight over here. You're talking about trimming everything down.
Yeah.
It's less than a pound.
Okay, so my Crocs are less than a pound.
Yeah, but yours are just for comfort. Crocs aren't gonna help you kill nothing. Where a bivvy might put me in a spot where I could kill something.
Hope you have it with every
Touche,
single day.
Mike.
Are you to carry that every single day in the stock?
Yeah, I probably will actually.
I mean,
As I was thinking-
it'd be smart if you do.
As I was thinking about that, I was actually driving down today thinking I probably will start every day out, depending on campsite, what we get. You're gonna evaluate it when you get there, right? And kind of see where you're seeing animals and stuff. But I will probably start out every day with a sleeping bag, sleeping pad, and a bivvy in my backpack. Yeah, with my lunch and my kill kit. Yep, just in case I gotta stay out. Because that's the thing about bow hunting is it's not good enough just to see the animal. You also have to figure out how to put yourself in close proximity to that animal as often as possible to
Yeah.
get a shot. So I probably will do that. We won't run through. What do you? I did want to ask you guys. What are you taking for battery packs, and how many?
I have so I'm gonna bring a solar charger,
You are.
a Goal Zero
What
solar
if you
charger.
can't use it? What if it's raining the whole time?
Then I'll just have a dead phone.
That's what I'm worried about. I'm not worried about phone for like any other reason other than navigation. Because I could see myself getting in a pinch where I'm gonna have to have it. I almost guarantee you at some point on this hunt, it's going to be vital that I have my phone for navigation.
I did buy a new phone because the one that I have right now, like it's kind of seen some days and has some wear and tear. So I'm hoping I get a lot of battery life from this new phone.
Do you have a new phone right now, or are you waiting for it to arrive?
No, I'm gonna go get it Thursday when I see my family usually.
What is it? iPhone 16?
iPhone 16 Pro Max.
Is it a 16?
Yeah.
Is that where we're at?
Yeah.
Look at me, I nailed it.
So I'm gonna get a new phone because I was kind of worrying about that, and then I also want the Digiscope video to be.
Sorry, do you know for sure if Olin has a Digiscope adapter for that already? Have you looked?
Oh shit, that's a good point. I haven't looked.
I'm assuming now by now they do, but
Yeah.
it's just always been a concern of mine when upgrading to make sure that they have one.
Maybe I get a capture.
Yeah, exactly.
I won't go through like kill kits and all that stuff because we probably all know.
You ever mention your battery pack situation?
Oh yeah, I failed to finish it out. So what are you guys gonna do?
I'm gonna do NB 10,000 Gen 3, 2 of them.
Okay,
They're super ultra light.
say it again.
And Nightcore NB 10,000.
How much do those run?
$60 a day or something like that.
How many
Jet-
phone charges will you get off of one of those?
2 maybe.
Okay.
And then I'm bringing a solar panel.
Okay.
And I'm bringing it again. It could rain, could do all that, but it's like I know how vital power is in the mountains. So anytime I have a chance, pop it up.
Yeah.
Cloudy, pop it up. It's like what we do bear hunting all the time. Like we have it all the time just because you need it because we have inReach, we have phones. We're going to be videoing through our phones, and we digiscoping. Digiscoping takes a ton of memory, and I need everything I can do to try to get my phone charger back.
I didn't finish mine either, so I'm gonna take the Goal Zero solar charger. It's a smaller footprint size. And then I have a flip 24. I have 2 flip 24s and then a flip 36.
Mhm.
And I'll take those in, and then I'll have that'll power my phone, my Peace headlamp, and then my stereo pin uses batteries, so I'll just take some extra of those.
Like AA battery?
Yeah, AA batteries, and then my backup headlamp takes AAA batteries, so I won't have to recharge those. And then last year in New Mexico, I actually did pretty good with those, and we had a lot of weather too, so just trying to like charge it every time that you can. And as long as you're like diligent about like, okay, there's sunlight and there's opportunity to charge my batteries, I found that it's actually not that bad. So
Okay.
I'm gonna go with that system.
Okay. What are you doing?
I want to hear yours
Oh,
because I don't feel like you gave me.
I'm not taking the solar panel.
No.
No.
You're just gonna bum ours.
No. I'm gonna take. I'll probably take 2 battery packs. So 2. What is it? 10s or 20s? Probably 20s. The bigger ones. I'll probably take 2 20s.
The Goal Zero ones.
No, I don't have one of those. These are.
20. That's a lot of weight.
It's not that bad. I mean,
You're kind of a nomad though. Like, I feel like as long as you're with us.
He never takes his phone out.
Yeah.
He's never taking photos. He's scoping. He's
I say 2 20s, but reality is I might show up at the trailhead with just one and,
Yeah.
and my phone and a cord.
And see, the thing I like though about
And if my phone dies, it dies.
I'd rather have 2 10s and 120.
2 10s and one. Yeah, in case
Yep.
one dies.
In case one dies.
In case your 20 bites the dust.
You're not gonna be able to see any of my Netflix movies I'm watching.
Yeah. What do you think the weight difference is between a 10 and a 20?
I don't know off the top of my head.
They are heavy
I
though.
bet it's not that much. That's why I was thinking 2 20s. And brand, I can't remember the name of the brand. What is it? It's just some cheap brand that you can get anywhere.
Anchor?
Anchor.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's probably what I'll do. Let's talk about gear that is different for this hunt. Can you think of anything that's different?
Well, we're taking different binos.
Okay.
You are taking a different.
I mean, different than what you would normally. Yeah, we could talk optics. What are you doing for optics?
I'm taking the SIG 12x42s.
Okay, Zulu 6s.
Yeah.
12s. Okay. Spotting scope.
Spotting scope. I might take my Vortex HD 65.
Okay.
But yeah, that'll probably be the kit there. But I need to pack in a camera too, so I might just rely on your 2 spotters.
Gotcha.
For digiscope.
Brady, you taking the eyes of God?
No.
No.
No. Save some,
It's a hard no.
save some weight and go a little bit lighter on the spotting side. But I'm taking a spotter.
Wow, how big?
Can't talk about it.
Okay.
That's the last I'm saying.
Okay.
For binos, 606 HDX Pro 16x50s, and Tricer tripod, and
Tripod head, same thing. The light one or the
yeah,
heavy
the
one?
LP.
LP. Okay.
Yep. And I'm bringing the ASIAC adapter so I can mount my
Yep.
pros on my tripod, so I can do some gridding out, trying to find some tar.
Gotcha.
Because I want to be able to glass off my tripod because hand holding, yeah, while they're stabilized, it works phenomenally for hiking around.
It's just not as comfortable.
If we sit around all day, I kind of want to be able to mount them.
Yeah, you got to be able to mount them to a tripod. It's definitely way more comfortable having a tripod.
Yep.
Yeah, even though they're super stable.
And right now I'm still on the fence if I'm going to take the capture system for digiscoping or I'm going to do all-in system. Kind of last night I've been playing with both of them a little bit, or playing with the new capture one, but I haven't obviously taken it on a hunt yet.
So I was driving down today and I was actually thinking, I want your opinion on this. I was considering so I'm going to take a pair of Zeiss SF 10x50s. SFLs, which are brand new. Brand spanking new. They're like the size of a 10x42. They're a smidge heavier than some of your 10x42s, but you get the added exit pupil, right? So bigger exit pupil. So they're bright. They're super clear, and it's a nice set of binos. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to take those. I'll take the Tricer tripod, the lightweight head, ASIAC adapter, and then I was considering not taking a spotting scope.
So you're going to make me digiscope.
I was just wondering, I was considering maybe a pair of 15s. Like, what do you think about a set of 15s versus a spotter?
This is someone who was making fun of the Crocs earlier. Now he's talking about taking 2 pairs of
I'm just floating it out here.
Just floating it?
Yeah, what are your thoughts? What about a pair of SLC 15x56s?
I think
versus a 20 by 60 by 65 swirl.
Well, here's the thing. I will say this is probably, now that I'm more thinking about it, a great idea for you because you never use your spotting scope,
I do use it.
but you don't give us footage.
I use the spotting scope for what it's intended, which is sizing up animals.
Okay.
Which I can do with my eye. I need my phone to tell me.
Okay.
But I think I might be able to do size up an animal with a set of 15s.
Yeah, I bet you probably could.
I was just gonna say we're gonna have a lot of guys, like 6 of us on a mountain, so I feel like we're gonna have enough binos.
So you think an extra spot would be better?
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
If you don't bring one, I will.
No, I'll bring it. So 20 by 60 by 65 Swaro HD.
And you're young, you can definitely pack binos, spotter, and camera because I am carrying a camera as well. I was even thinking about stealing the 7200 lens and bringing that one because Joe doesn't want to bring it. I think I'm bringing it for my personal use out there. Obviously,
yeah.
get some sick going photos, but like, I'm just gonna pack weight. I'm just gonna whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Any other equipment that you guys could think of that's like you bought for this hunt or you're thinking about bringing on this hunt that like jumps to mind?
Mountain Gear Stick 4.1, sorry.
Which is what? Tell people what a mountain gear stick is.
It's a guy from New Zealand. I've been wanting to get one for a long time. It's basically a trekking pole, ice axe. Has a little claw thing on the back to, clear campsite, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you can swap the front ice axe portion for a saw if need be as well. And then basically it's a carbon fiber pole. You can adjust it like a trekking pole. So I got the tall version, so it's tall enough for me, but it goes down pretty short. It's got a little lanyard on it too for self-arrest. And
Are you taking another trekking pole?
Yeah, I'll still take trekking pole for pitching.
One?
I'm game time decision again on that right now. Still thinking out the process. And as I have a Google sheet already created like I always do, and then I have my special one that enters all the weights and everything. So I'm trying to figure out weight first and how I'm going to deal with this. But I need trekking poles to pitch a tarp. I'm not going to be that guy that's like, oh, I didn't bring any trekking poles because I'm just bringing this and can I borrow some trekking poles. I can buy a tarp, but I can't pitch it.
I'm not gonna borrow your guys' stuff. Right?
That's what he's saying. That's all
I'm not that guy. Anybody that's hunted with me, I'm not borrowing stuff. If I didn't bring it, I'm not using it unless I'm in dire straits.
Okay.
So you two just pipe down.
Okay, so I've always wanted to use that. It's expensive.
Yeah.
That's the thing that sucks.
What was the cost on it?
$375.
Holy shit.
Oh, that's
And there is a U.S. shipping thing here, so I believe it was free shipping, which was nice. I didn't have to ship it from New Zealand. But the dude's super cool. He makes really awesome bipods as well for rifles. Makes a ton of cool gear. So I've been following him for a long time. I've always wanted one. I just never decided I needed one because I've always had an ice axe before when I lived in Montana and working on glaciers all the time, like that safety thing. So I've had ice axes, but this is like a do-it-all version. And it's nice too because it does have a Picatinny section on the top. So my Picatinny part of my rifle on the bottom, I can basically mount my rifle off it. And if I need to
For a rest.
and shoot off it, which is kind of cool.
Right.
So basically do it all, hiking stick, self-arrest, dig a campsite.
You taking one too?
I'm gonna take coming out of retirement, Brady's old black diamond. What do you call those?
The Whippet?
The Whippet, yeah.
That's
No,
not
mine's not the whip, mine's actual an ice axe.
Yeah,
Oh.
he's got an actual ice axe.
But it's like it's a very lightweight one.
Yeah.
And it's actually a little bit taller too. And I
Is it
told
long
him
enough you can use it like a cane?
yeah, like
side hilling you'll be able to use it,
Okay.
but not for general purpose walking. So it's not like the Whippet where you can make it generally use.
Yeah.
yeah. But I could like dig out like a bed for myself or use it in like those gnarly environments. And then I'll just take one of our GOHUNT trekking poles and then kind of decide on, if it's flat stuff, I'll use our trekking pole. If we're going up a mountain, I'll bring that Whippet. What is it actually called? The pig axe?
Basically, it's ice axe, yeah. But the nice thing too, though, you still could do the one trekking pole on one side of the tarp, and then the ice axe on the other. Yeah, the tarp's gonna be tilted,
Yeah.
but you can make it work.
Yeah.
Like we don't have to have the two. That's what I'm thinking right now. Just using the stick, and then one trekking pole,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like you are.
And
It's
then,
just extra weight for me to carry two and then a stick.
yeah. What about you?
Whippet.
Whippet?
You must whip it.
the pimp stick?
That's it.
Yeah.
Pimp cane. Yeah, black diamond.
Pinnacle.
Yeah, the Whippet is what I'm taking.
Yeah.
So we've had this discussion a lot, Trail.
Yep.
Crampons, no crampons,
I don't know.
or micro spikes, no micro spikes.
I don't think I'm gonna take any.
No.
No.
Cam says no on the crampon.
For one, I don't have another $160 to put into a set of crampons right now, so I'm not going to take them. But I have I don't know. I might. Maybe I can come up with some money to buy some, but like I worry that I might end up wishing I had them.
I know.
If any other piece of equipment that I can think of, that's like the one where I'm like, I might really genuinely wish I had a set.
Yeah, and I've been in places, even hunting mule deer and elk in the snow, that I wish I had my micro spikes going down super icy stuff. Bear hunting a lot of times, kind of wish I had my micro spikes. I own a pair, but sometimes I don't carry them because they're heavy, and that's always like, I bring them in my truck.
How heavy are they?
I don't know.
2 pounds? Pound?
Yeah, a pound and change.
Can't remember.
I'm trying to get lighter, not heavier.
I probably bring any.
You're not gonna bring any? No. Okay.
But I think I'm bringing crampons. So, because I think I mentioned earlier, I was just off air. I envision myself seeing Tahr really far up there because I'm rifle hunting, and then like, oh, should I shoot it? If I shoot it, I need to recover it, and I want to be able to go up there and get it.
You bring a rope?
I'm bringing some just random P-cord, but not like climbing rope or anything. No.
P-cord?
Yeah, our GOHUNT. Like,
are you bringing an RP cord or like Z-Pack slick line?
Probably not going to bring any Z-Pack slick line because I don't want it to be slick. I want to be able to have some bite to it, so I need to use it for something to like pull on it or do with it. So probably just the GOHUNT P-cord.
Gotcha.
Because we don't have to hang food or anything like that, so I don't have to like throw it over a tree to use the slick properties of the Z-Packs.
Yeah. Let's talk some food real quick, so we don't forget this. You, as I met you today at the front door getting here, I was kind of surprised to learn some new stuff.
Yeah, so I've talked to quite a few people now. Omar's heard the same thing. We had Sam Davis, was our good buddy, was letting us know some things he experienced. Some other guys set us up about things they've experienced traveling with freeze-dried food. And it sounds like if you bring a bunch of stuff over there that they don't like, it's going to get confiscated. So what they basically said is anything with pork and anything with chicken. Some people say it was just pork that was an issue. Other people say it was both pork and chicken. Because I guess what I look
freeze-dried?
Freeze-dried. So if it's in the same bag, like a peak refuel, Mountain House.
Even if it's sealed?
Even if it's sealed. The reason why they're worried is it's not from that country. And bird flu and swine flu. Introducing something potentially into their environment, even though it's already freeze-dried, even though it's already done. It's just, their country, their rules type of thing.
Okay.
So we're pulling on all that stuff, not bringing it, and then trying to...
Beef?
Yeah.
No problem?
No problem. Well, you don't know for sure. Okay. You could deal with someone there who wants to just go through everything. They said they go through everything with a fine-tooth comb. Yeah. And so Omar mentioned he might just try to supplement other stuff he has at home. I might just say I'm just going to use the ones I have that don't have beef or chicken and then get some there because I'm kind of intrigued to try some New Zealand backpacking food. First, really good. There's a lot of different brands over there that are New Zealand based for backpacking food. So we land and we have some time to go run and grab some. We have to get fuel canisters. So we have to make a stop anyway.
That's right.
And we do have to get some bagels, salami, and cheese. So we have to stop. So there's that option there. Beef sticks also I've heard is a no-no. Okay. So any sort of like jerky potentially, like they might confiscate it, and they confiscate it and throw it away in a trash can. So unless you can eat it really quickly.
It almost seems like there's like the rules, but then like the aging that you get too. Like I feel like sometimes those people don't really know the rules. So like, you can't have this and that, and it's like like you can't have any of this, so just throw it all away. So hopefully we get a good agent. It's like, all right, these guys. And
it should go without saying, but my strategy's always been when we're going to these places or flying into like TSA, no matter what, is be the nicest person of yourself you can be. Like sweet talk them if you have to. Be like, oh, I didn't know. Like, is there any way I could take it or whatever, and just be uber nice, because then that you might be nice about the one thing. They might say, oh, what's in your gear? Are you hunting? And be like, yeah, I'm actually hunting, but I'm also taking a lot of photos. And maybe like you start talking about photos with them for a little while, and then all of a sudden they forget about the food you have and just like kind of let you go. So like I just try to be stupid nice and like talk to them, and like maybe they'll let me slide with something else they might not look through or whatever. But you don't want to make them mad, because when you make them mad, they're gonna go through everything else.
So it sounds like most of our food we're gonna end up having to do when we get there.
Well, we're gonna try to pack as much as possible. Like Peak was kind enough to send us food, Peak refuel. Same with Pro Bar, Honey Stinger, Mountain Ops for some hydrate.
Mhm.
So we have a bunch of stuff like pre-packed and ready to go. We were just bagging that out yesterday. So I think we just want to be as cautious as we can to take out the pork and chicken dinners, and then either try to supplement some with dinners there in New Zealand, or like for me, for example, I got 10 others that are like just backup, so I might just like throw in the whatever beef products of peak refills that I have in there. So I have all my 8 dinners ready to go. And hopefully have no
Beef
issues.
marinara.
Yeah, there's a
Man,
lot of
homestyle rice and chicken is my favorite.
I like the sweet
Chicken
pork,
pesto
Sweet
pasta?
pork is so good. Chicken, yeah,
Chicken
pops.
Alfredo?
Yeah, Alfredo.
coconut chicken curry.
Chicken
Oh, that
chicken
one
curry.
slaps.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing I also don't want to is I don't want to, because flying with our stuff is heavy. So it's also extra baggage. There's also extra baggage fee. So like, don't want to have to pay a bunch of that, go over there and have it throw away.
yeah.
Especially when like
Good bummer.
they kind enough to give us some food, pick refuel, and like
Yeah, that would be more.
toss it. And then like we were talking today too, like even the honey stingers.
Yeah.
Requested, like guys from Honey Stinger were like, it might confiscate your honey stingers because of the honey.
Yeah. What? Yeah. And
So
on that one, we kind of just elected to be like, hey, like, let's just save this for,
Yeah.
if we go to Hawaii later on or go to Alaska, something like that.
like I don't even want to risk. I feel bad taking food and throwing it away and being wasted when someone is kind enough to give us food for the trip. So I think we're gonna ditch the honey stingers.
I also heard through the rumor mill that they're really particular about your gear being clean.
Yep.
So essentially, like your boots, no dirt on your boots.
If you have dirt on your boots, you will be
Mud.
basically like you're a felon. Like no joke.
You're going to jail.
Mugshot and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Tent
'cause-
stakes, same
tent
thing.
stakes have to be no
Tents,
dirt,
are
yeah.
the same thing. No dirt, no seeds, nothing like that.
Yeah, they don't want any like
Those
infectious
those
weeds
things.
and all that stuff.
For the most part, I feel like I'll probably just give the boots a good old power wash and
Yeah.
make sure all my gear is pretty clean.
Yeah, same with my backpack. My backpack's got blood. I mean, it's dirty.
Yeah.
You should wash that, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take it to the old car wash.
Oh, God.
Like a good hose down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about that though. But like those are things that when you travel, I guess it's like all the little details, right?
Yeah. Even I went turkey hunting last week, and there was a guy at camp that heard that I was going to New Zealand. And he thought I was going like fly fishing or something. And I was like, oh no, I'm going hunting. But he was like, hey, like whatever you do, man, like make sure your boots are like as clean as possible. Like he made sure to tell me that about the boots. I'm like, oh. So definitely want to make sure the boots are clean and free of any seeds, and
Yeah.
hopefully look like they're just out the box.
Interesting.
Are you guys gonna wear your boots on the flight?
No,
No.
why my Crocs? Just kidding. No, man, Birkenstocks only.
Really?
Here's something I did in Tajikistan, which I didn't have to have this happen, but like I will wear a pair of boots on the plane and then have a boots packed
Okay.
in case my boots on the plane on the check baggage gets lost and another pair of hunting boots. Like I can borrow clothes.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard to borrow boots,
True.
especially when I'm different size than a lot of other people. So like I will wear a pair of boots on the plane.
You are?
Yeah, not the ones I'm planning on hunting with, but a backup pair technically.
That's a
'Cause
long
I-
time to be in the air at elevation with boots on, man.
Have you ever noticed you can untie?
Don't you ever
things?
talk to people as your feet swell?
Bro,
You're gonna have blood.
it takes like 2 seconds.
You're gonna have a blood clot.
Dude, when I flew to Tajikistan, they gave us slippers on an international flight.
I think I'll
You're not
pack.
gonna wear cowboy boots?
No,
I didn't really know you're coming from America.
I think I'm gonna put my boots in my carry-on.
I put my optics in my carry-on.
Yeah, those will go in there too, for sure.
Yeah.
It's a little
What were you
extra.
gonna say?
I have one.
Okay.
You guys both have your rifle and bow cases,
Mm-hmm.
but that's one piece of item that I don't have that I need to buy.
Porter's trying to creep and stare at us right now while we're trying to work.
So I was
He's
So I was-
distracting us.
I was doing some research yesterday on which is like the best one.
guys
to buy.
live?
Yeah, we're live.
We're live,
What's
Porter.
up, Papa P?
Hey guys.
What are you doing? You got some new boots there?
We were just talking about
You
boots.
been goofing.
What do you got?
No, are you guys literally live?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're live, man.
Oh.
We're hot. What do you got there?
Hey, you gotta pay my Ty Taylor, dude. Don't.
Oh, okay, I will.
It's not paying his bills, dude. I got him a custom suit. He didn't even pay his bills.
Did they show up and be like, hey, you Omar's boss?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what they mafia. You're going to be like me
He's
here.
coming here to collect.
Yeah.
John Wick.
We're talking New Zealand. We're taking you next year.
Oh, buddy. Dude, we're trying on the down jacket in there.
Oh yeah.
We got some
Hold
stuff.
on.
Sweet.
We got. Is Joe filming?
Dude, I know. Need to be better.
Slow down.
I missed some great bits. I'm stoked for you guys, so that's gonna be a built hunt.
We're gonna go over there and figure it out. We're taking you next
I would love to go there.
for a rip.
Mm-hmm.
To be with our Kiwi friend.
Your
Yeah,
wife and
yeah.
kids will let you go.
They will. Especially now that I'm a bow hunter.
That's right.
Yeah.
Both
Pay your bills, Omar. Pay your bills.
I will. He's still coming over to collect. It's crazy.
I mean, this is Can you actually go to
I can't pay my bills because I need to buy a freaking bow case.
Yeah, priorities.
Yeah. So yeah, I need to buy a bow case. So that's gonna be like a $500 investment.
Yeah.
But
Don't you know what you want? So I sent you one last night. It's $300.
yeah, but
Some of them are $209. You can buy them. So
you know me. I want.
Pelican V730. It's a rifle case,
Rifle
hard
case, yeah.
sided. It's got foam in it. You cut it out to shape your bow. Fits in perfect.
But I want the bells and whistles.
I don't really like that method though, because then you can't fit the other gear
Yeah,
on as well.
you
Bow
can't
is
put-
actually pretty light.
I know, but your bow is at least like I know, but I feel pretty confident my bow's gonna be good to go. But when it gets there,
So
Did you figure you should maybe ask me? Maybe I have an extra.
what are you using?
well, do you have a? You don't have an extra 170.
No, but I have this. I have one old school. It's like aluminum color, like just gray. And obviously, the whole thing's aluminum.
Yeah.
I don't know if it fits a bow.
Is it the one that you have to carry? Because I've taken that one.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
There's no wheels on it. That one sucks. So
Yeah.
never mind.
So it's, yeah.
That's my like beater one. If I ever need to throw in the back of my truck, I'm taking an SKB double rifle case.
Okay.
I really do want a Pelican badly, like one of those newer Pelicans. I kind of want to get a longer one.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever I get a longer barreled rifle, I can fit it into it.
So just because this is a common question that I get asked a lot, again, this is my recommendation. It's a Pelican V730 bow case.
The bolt.
It's got locks positions for 4 different locks, hard-sided case, and it won't break your bank.
Yep.
And I've taken it to Alaska several times, no issues whatsoever. So that would be my recommendation. So if anybody's thinking of sliding in my DMs asking me what case, that's
Like I
the
did
case.
yesterday.
That's the case I use.
Yeah, and the only reason I'm thinking about trying to swap eventually is mine has seen a lot of years. I think I got it when I lived in Montana back in my SKB. It's dented. I don't think it's waterproof anymore on the sides, and it's a little on the heavier side. I think the newer ones now are a little bit lighter. I can fit more gear inside of it. But I've also had, again, this is where it's like I always talk. We talked, I don't know, a while ago about flying with gear or flying internationally with gear or whatever. But like, I always get people at TSA who try to tell you the rules when I know the rules. And so like I always suggest when you go there to bring printed off things of rules
Yeah.
so you can prove to them like, hey, this is actually how it goes. And be nice about it. Don't be a dick.
Yep.
But they told me before, because my gun case, my SKB only has position for 2 locks. And someone tried to tell me I need 4 locks on a rifle case. And it's like, no, there's no rules that say I need 4 locks. It's just any place that can put a lock on it, you're supposed to put a lock. And my gun case only has 2. So I had someone tell me that before, but that was, in the United States. It was an international thing. So I've kind of, thought maybe I should get a different one.
Sounds like you're doing some shopping today. Crampons, new case.
I can't do all that.
Brady's ready to spend some cheddar.
I can't do all that. So, but it's like, it's just considerations, and I don't know. I figure
I was gonna to your point. I wanted to kind of make this point and hound it home. TSA doesn't always understand. They don't always know the rules, right? So they may say something based on some personal bias or something that they've heard. I think they're doing the best they can, obviously, and some of them are great and some of them less so. But to your point, I would just say stand your ground, nicely. Be as nice as you possibly can, but stand your ground and know the rules. And I like your tip of like actually having a set of rules figured out so that you can point to them and show them.
Because they were maybe briefed on the rules about flying with the firearm.
Sure.
8 months ago, and
they see thousands of people a day.
Yeah, and so it's just having it, and like even like we talk about locks a lot. Like I will carry, I think 4 extra locks.
TSA approved locks?
No, I carry 2 sets of TSA approved. Because you will have sometimes they'll tell you have to have a TSA lock or you're not going to fly. I've had someone tell me that before.
Yep.
When it's not the rule, you can use any lock. Because if you have a TSA approved lock and you go through there, the TSA agent can actually open your stuff when you're not supposed to. It's supposed to be able to lock it, and you're the only one who can access it. So someone will say you need it, someone will say you don't. So I carry 2 of those, but I also carry a bunch of extra non-TSA locks. Because if they have to cut it to get into your case on we go to Los Angeles to fly out, and they have to check it there, and then all of a sudden now I don't have enough locks to fly the other place. Now I'm kind of screwed. So it's like I would rather have extra locks, and I keep the extra locks on my carry-on. That way I can click it on there really quickly. It's not buried in some other bag.
So you're carrying extra locks too?
Extra locks, yeah.
Wow.
Actually, I've heard something where the guy got to, like, he was about to board the plane. Like, hey, like, you need to come out because you don't have like the locks or something. He's like, oh no, there's extra ones in there. Like, just snap those on there, and then they like let him go in. And, like, his weapon got to the destination. So
Yeah, I try to do everything. Remember last time I had that trouble flying because I had my hinge release in there and I thought it was brass knuckles, and I got yelled at to come all the way downstairs, and it's like,
Yeah, I got stopped going because I'll carry my release in my carry-on,
Yeah.
and inevitably I will get hold of stuff.
oh really?
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, what's this? This looks like brass knuckles.
yeah.
Well, it's not.
Yeah.
I don't want to dive too deep into weapons, but any special considerations you're thinking about in regards to your weapon for this hunt?
I'm not bringing a 30 cal,
Oh, okay.
so it's not my 14 and a half pound 300 rum.
Gotcha.
I mean, because I just
What is it? 12.5?
I haven't actually weighed it.
No
It's
thinker.
the Sig cross saw too, the 7 PRC.
Okay.
It's been shooting really well. Hand loads for it. I'm
What grain bullet?
160 grain Barnes LRX
Okay.
on my hand loads. So like I had a pre
down for you.
what?
That's slim down for you.
Yeah, it hits hard and it's very, very accurate.
Mm-hmm.
And
Scope cover?
I'm gonna use the GOHUNT essential rifle cover just because I want to get waterproofing.
Yep.
Full coverage on it. It's not doesn't have padding that it would if I had like a marsupial or the Ryan Lampert's Stealthy Hunter on there, but I want full coverage from everything. Yeah, Sig rifle scope on there. All my other same rifle accessories will be the same, but just trying to outshot my pig with it recently and it's really accurate. And I had to fill it all out a long time ago. Try to get this rifle permit approved. And that costs $25. You have to go through a lot of process if you're trying to get your weapon in New Zealand, which is actually quite an ordeal.
I understand you do that paperwork prior to that, and then you pay the $25 fee when you get there, right?
No, pay $25 ahead of time when I fill out the application, but you need to know the exact dates you're landing. Like when you're landing, what's your flight number?
Okay.
When you're leaving, what's your flight numbers and all that stuff, and you travel through there. So it's like you said, I knew all that, and I've been emailing them quite often, being really nice in my emails, saying, "Hey, this haven't been approved yet." They say to do it at least 3 to 4 months at a time. Ours was a little bit tighter, and so lady, last time I talked to her, great lady.
Great accent.
What?
She's your pen pal now.
You probably don't have. You probably never had a pen pal.
I actually didn't.
Did you really?
When I was like in
You wrote letters to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
So I emailed her about a week and a half ago, and she's, "Oh yeah, I'm working through April applications right now. We'll get yours here shortly."
Okay.
But the one guy I talked to the other day is like, "Oh yeah, it was like 4 days before I left, I got approved."
Oh.
And the problem with me too is I need to fill out a 4457 form and go over to customs and try to get my rifle approved in the U.S. side, so that way I'm good when I come back.
Mm-hmm.
I should just do that right now anytime, but I'm kind of waiting game time decisions because I don't want to have to go all the way down to the airport to bring a rifle and waste 3 hours of my day.
Mm-hmm.
A rifle that I'm not going to get approved to fly over with. So hopefully I get approved. If not, like I said, we have a
Gotcha.
cam
Live
rifle
regs.
there. I'm not bringing a suppressor either.
Open sights.
Yeah. I'm not bringing a suppressor, even though people ask all the time when I'm going to hunt with the one, even though New Zealand you can. I just don't want to deal with trying to fly that across internationally.
I heard they're really common over there. I've actually heard people buying them over there.
Yeah, I think you can just buy them. The harder part for them is weapons.
Yeah.
Because that's what the big thing I had to go through filling out the paperwork is
Mhm.
how's your weapon going to be stored when you get over there? Who's going to watch it? Are you ever going to leave it in the vehicle? And it's like go all through this safety
Right.
stuff trying to deal with it. But
Yeah, the only things I'm thinking about beyond having my pins absolutely dead nuts set and dialed in for
5-pin.
yardage, 5-pin slider, is really spending the next 2 weeks working over my second and third axis, making sure that my second is dead nuts and then shooting in my third axis, given the angles.
Yeah.
And then I think the probability of a shot that maybe is a little bit deeper, if you will, I think might be a real possibility. Even like a follow-up shot, right? So when I say sighting my pins in, I want to make sure that my 20 through 60 is dead nuts for each individual pin, but I want to make sure that I have a sight tape built that is as accurate as I can get it. So, 100, 110, 120, just in case I need a follow-up shot. So for the next 2 weeks, I'm gonna just be spending a lot of time working over the old bow and the sight and the levels. And that's like the things that I'm really thinking about. Obviously shooting broadheads. I've been shooting some broadheads and making sure I've got 12 arrows. This is something that I probably will have never done, is actually pack more arrows than like 6 or 5. Normally I go on a backpack elk hunt, I pack 5 arrows. I'll have some in the truck. But I think going into this, I'm going to take a full dozen arrows just in case.
And we talk about the distance we're going in, the terrain. Like, have you seen
Distance.
some of that brush they crawl through?
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah, and I'll take a hip quiver because I think most of the hunting we'll be doing will be above like vegetation line for the
Yeah.
most part. So I'm not worried about losing arrows, but I've lost arrows with a hip quiver and really vegetated like
Oh,
thick.
really?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a wonder I haven't stabbed myself for sure. In Kodiak, I've lost some arrows on Kodiak. Do the hip quiver, but yeah, we got a new product that I think we'll be able to highlight here pretty soon that I think will make this transition nice on this hunt. But yeah, I'm going to take a full dozen arrows just because I think the shot complexity is going to be, I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough shots.
Mhm.
I think I'm going to have to make a tough shot or two.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking about.
You taking the lift?
Lift X.
Lift X?
Yeah, 33. Yeah, 15-inch front bar, 12-inch back, 3 ounces up front, 9 out the back. Q8E rest, drop away. Arrows about 492 grains, shooting about 285 feet per second.
Mm-hmm.
So
What release?
we'll
It's
see.
usually game time with you.
We'll see.
I feel like you have like 10 and you kind of just like
I
put
have-
your hand in there.
Yeah, I have
whichever one
my
feels
field.
good.
I have my field quiver in the truck right now, and if I have any less than about 8 releases in that thing right now, I'd be surprised. Yeah, I have a fair amount. Some I've been playing with, so
I need to buy a backup because
I definitely will be taking a backup release. So one in my hip pocket on my pack, and then one in my pocket of my pants that I'll hunt with.
yeah, my buttons seem to crawl away somewhere, so I can't find them.
Damn.
I need to get a backup.
Yeah, you better get that quick.
Mm-hmm.
Finger tab.
Get it set up.
Finger tab?
Alt tab. So we ran through a lot of gear, which I thought we would. I wanted to conclude because we've been on this for probably 2 hours, pushing 2 hours. Just like I wanted to get you guys' thoughts. How are you feeling about it? Like, what's your overall gut feeling going into this? We're like 2 weeks away. Adventure hunt. Like, how are you feeling?
I'm honestly a little bit overwhelmed because I got a lot of stuff between now and then the hunt.
Work stuff.
Work stuff, like getting everything ready for work.
Race
I
stuff.
thought it'd be a good idea to sign up for a marathon this weekend. So I'll be in Eugene.
This
Well, just-
weekend.
Yeah.
Just paint a picture. He's being in Eugene this weekend marathon. Next weekend we're leaving Thursday through Sunday.
Sunday.
So he has no open weekends until he leaves because we have a 100-mile race
yeah.
in a week and a half.
And then leave to New Zealand on Thursday.
So we leave 4 days after that.
yeah.
That's dicey.
So like literally yesterday, all my free time I've been kind of like planning for, like this New Zealand trip. So yesterday I was in my garage and I have stuff organized. I sent a video to Trail and Joe, or excuse me, Brady and Joe yesterday and Cam. And like I'm getting all my stuff kind of organized. So like I'm not like last minute in my garage. Like where's this? Where's that? Trying to buy stuff. So I'm trying to get everything as ready as possible, like on the weekdays yes, I have like an 8-hour workday, but try to get a run in and then try to like sit in my garage a little bit after that and get stuff ready. But so a little bit overwhelmed, but I am like very excited to go to New Zealand, see a new place, hunt a new species, hunt with you guys. Like it's the first time I've ever hunted with you, Trail.
Oh, you're in for a real treat.
Hang out with Cam, like Cam's
Yeah.
a good buddy too.
Yeah.
You're hanging out with Cam?
Nope.
Okay, yes, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Seems like my kind of dude, though.
Yeah,
The calls that we've had, seems like he and I will get along swimmingly.
it's just great.
Yeah. So yeah, kind of just. I mean, it's a cool opportunity too to go.
So you got a lot on, man. You're feeling I bet you're feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's wild.
I turned 28. I don't want to date myself, but I turned 28 tomorrow.
Date myself. Oh my lord.
So, but I don't know. I'm excited. It's a unique experience, and I just want to make sure I have all my marbles straight to get the most out of that.
Yeah.
The experience too. And I
Brady?
think work wise, we have everything kind of lined up perfectly too.
Yeah. Brady, you feeling? How you feeling?
I'm so excited.
Okay.
I've wanted to go to New Zealand my whole entire life, and it's finally here.
We're not going to
I li-
Hobbitville, bro.
I know. But literally, I'm bringing
Hobbiton.
I'm bringing my Kindle. I'm bringing my Kindle on the mountain.
Oh yeah, are you guys bringing books? I am. I'm putting together a book collection. For,
Are you?
Yeah, for the flight.
I have.
I might bring one with me. I might actually put some added weight on a backpack, just have a book to read.
I'm about halfway through Two Towers right now, and I have like literally a bunch of the other Lord of the Rings books queued up. Read a bunch of them back in the day. I'm trying to reread them again now, so I'm just doing new Lord of the Rings stuff for books the whole time while I'm there. But yeah, super excited. But I'm with Omar. I'm kind of overwhelmed right now. Like I was in before a hunt because, I mean, we're doing the 100-mile race, and then literally over the weekend, I just moved my girlfriend into my place. So the house is a complete mess right now, and she's like, "I hope we can get this dialed in before you go to New Zealand." And I'm like, "I really want to as well." And so like every evening,
Or you're like, hey, you know, it'd be cool is if it was dialed in when I got home.
There you go.
so like literally last night we were doing this. Tonight I have to go for a run again, and then I have to start packing. I've been trying to wake up earlier now because she's a morning person. So like I was up at 6:30 this morning, and then when she went to work really early, and then I stayed up and started packing, cleaning stuff in the house and try to organize it. But a lot of stuff, her stuff, and I'm trying to like deal with that. I have to try to find time to go to the range. So I'm trying to find time to go shoot my rifle. I have to try to find time to load more rounds to go shoot again.
How many rounds of ammunition you taking?
I think I put on there like 40. It's like a certain weight of ammo I'm limited to, but I didn't go up to the max, but 40 rounds, I believe. So I put on there. And then just work stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get time to during the day to go, oh, let's go home and go pack during the work day. Like that's not how GOHUNT operates. Like we work during the work day, and then everything else is on top in the evening. So it's like trying to balance everything in, balance life. Obviously all these running things we're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to be here, but I wish I had a little bit extra time as well. And
creeps up on you.
yeah, I'm so excited. That's an opportunity of a lifetime.
I was gonna add one more thing because you included like the range thing, and we're talking about the bow case. I think I'm gonna buy that bow case, and then I was like on my run yesterday. I was like, you know, as it's creeping up, I'm like, man, like I want to be shooting where I want to be shooting every day. So I think I am gonna like get that bow case and then pay for it to fly it up to Eugene. And then I saw the bow rack. Like they always have the bow rack there. They have, I think a 60-yard range now indoors. So I was thinking about going out there and just like shooting like
There you go.
after work.
Yeah, rangefinder is one I didn't even touch on, but new batteries for my rangefinder for sure. That has to happen this week. Also, making sure that my angle compensation is inputted. Is that a word? I've input my speed, so my angle compensation, and then I've actually practiced with it.
Yeah, testing it
So
out.
yeah, I've gone up and I've shot some steep angles up and down and verified impact and angle compensation. So that's on the to-do list too. Yeah, I'm feeling like with you guys. I think it's just the nature of this where we're at in life, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm feeling overwhelmed too. Like I'll be north this week with my youngest kid in a basketball tournament, so I'll miss this weekend, and then the next one I think I'm sure I have another or something. So there's a lack of time, I feel like. So evenings, early mornings are definitely going to be critical to help me get ready. I'm excited, but I'm a little bit. I can't. God, my voice cracked like I was 13. I'm a little bit intimidated, to be honest. Like, yeah, I'm like legitimately a little bit afraid.
Yeah,
which I haven't been in a long time.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. Like, just remember like that first time you went like on elk hunt and you're kind of just like, oh man, especially backpacking. I don't even. So I think it's cool. You kind of feel like a sense of like alive, you know.
Yeah, tossing yourself in the unknown is one of the coolest things ever. Like, not knowing what it's going to be like, experience.
I wished I was in a little bit better shape, but that's okay. I've been sick. I'm still a little sick, but yeah, I wished I'd been in a little bit better shape, but that'll come. I'm not really worried that much about it, but overall, yeah, I'm a little bit intimidated by like this environment and just like the conditions, the weather, the rain, the cold, the steepness, the cliffs. Yeah, I'd be lying, but
I'm curious how we'll do like off of jet lag. Just
oh
you
yeah,
know, we're going straight
I'm
off,
worried about that too.
traveling all day into like you know, sleeping a little bit, which you know, see if we get any rest. Probably won't get any rest on a plane.
Yeah, it should be noted we are leaving on May 8th.
Yeah.
And we land in New Zealand
May 10th,
May 10th.
like 9 a.m. and then we're driving handful of hours,
Yeah,
getting to a place, sleeping, and then hiking in the very next day.
it's gonna be gnarly.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we're filming that. We should say that. I don't know if we did earlier, but we're gonna film the whole thing. We're gonna do Go Hunt originals for it, so you guys can tag along with this. I think at the end of this, we kind of laid it out here that I hopefully this translated, but I think this hunt is more doable for people than they might think right now. It certainly is since I started doing some research. I think on the back end of it, I think all of us will probably come back from this and say, you should go do this because it's totally doable. I've said this about Alaska ad nauseum. Go hunt Alaska. It's way more doable than you think. It seems really hard and complex, and there are hurdles. Like there's some logistics you have to figure out, but it's definitely doable.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to feel the same way about this. And it's probably, my gut says it's probably a hunt that we're going to be like, hey, it's May. Guess we're going to New Zealand.
Yeah.
You know,
Hunt the roar.
for the cost. Anything else? Any other parting words before we wrap this up?
No, excited. Hope we have good
Okay.
weather. Hope we get some snow.
No snow. Good weather. Sunshine and 60, baby.
Sunset.
Bro, I want snow. Make those mountains look so much more impressive.
I tell you what, you hike up the hill and get some snow.
I've heard people say bring a fly rod, but I say no because I'm gonna go straight to hunting.
Yeah,
Baby.
straight in.
I don't care about fishing.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, Godspeed, and we'll see you guys on the flip side.